awesome because it shows that it really offers that core memory and that really special experience. And then, of course, seeing the students, their faces light up when we come to do the circle times with them in their classrooms, or when they come to the aquarium, when they see the penguins for the first time, it's super, super special. And then, of course, we've also enjoyed seeing them do things like move like kelp when we do our little circle times, or even when we're doing, when they tell me the funniest stories, to even them saying, my mom just bought me these new sneakers. While in the middle of the so it's like such a joy, and like they're such full of wonder and creativity and imagination. So it's really nice. And then also like, I'm thinking also of like watching them touch the animals for the first time, learning how to use their science fingers, which is really special. So yeah, and then that's something that's like always gonna be, I think, really ingrained in our hearts. So it's been a true joy. And then also something I do want to mention too is that we've even had a really awesome volunteer, Gloria, who's back here, who is actually was a previous Head Start teacher and is now a volunteer in the aquarium that supports us during our visits. So she brings a lot of knowledge to this program. So it's a very well thought out partnership, and it honestly could not have been done without the support of the Head Start team. So shout out to them too, because we generally have been working really well together, and we all have that same goal where we want to support our students and our families. So it's really special. And I grew up here in Monterey County, so it means even more seeing people like me kind of come join us and have that access to the aquarium and open like the world of the ocean to them, and then really inspire them at the end. So yeah, so thank you so much again. We are so excited to continue working with Head Start and see what's to come. So, yeah. Thank you.
Any comments from the board?
I have one.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation and that energy of yours that is so contagious.
I love this
Enough already.
So great.
You make my day today. In that regards, I gotta say thank you guys for the opportunity that you give us to this big society. We represent mentors for foster kids. And we took about 20 foster kids to the aquarium. We got a good discount on the tickets, so they have a wonderful time. So we enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much.
Any other comments from the board? All right, well, thank you so much for everything you do. I'm going to read a little bit from the resolution, and then we'll come up and take a photo together. Whereas the Monterey County Office of Education's Early Learning Program has maintained a cherished and impactful partnership with the Monterey Bay Aquarium for 25 years, rooted in a shared mission to promote environmental conservation and educational excellence. And whereas on Friday, September 19th, 2025, the Early Learning Program participated in a dynamic professional development workshop hosted by the Monterey Bay Aquarium, engaging educators in hands-on activities, interactive exhibits, and guided sessions led by aquarium staff and marine science experts. And whereas the workshop was designed to deepen educators' understanding of our ocean ecosystems, inspire innovative teaching strategies, and equip them with resources to lead meaningful field experiences for their students, fostering curiosity and environmental stewardship. And it goes on a bit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Monterey County Board of Education hereby adopts resolution number 252615 to honor and celebrate the 25th anniversary of the partnership between the Monterey County Office of Education's Early Learning Program and the Monterey Bay Aquarium, recognizing their shared commitment to environmental conservation and educational collaboration. Passed and adopted on the 12th day of November 2025. So congratulations and thank you for all you do for the students of our great Monterey County. So can I invite you up here?
Yes. Go front and center here with that. And if you come back this way just a little bit. Yes. Oh, wait, you can. This way just a little bit so Heather can sneak in there.
Right here.
There you go. The real hero.
Oh my goodness.
Round, squeeze on in. Squeeze in.
More squeezing.
I got it. 1, 2, 3. Keep smiling. One more. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I was wondering that you.
We had to get our use out of.
Message John.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Not already.
You wouldn't be operating.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Penguin.
Happy to see you.
That was great.
Thanks, Chris.
I loved it.
Bring the perfect prop.
Bye, everybody. Yeah. All right, so we are on to item 8.9. I want to touch on that really quick before we move to our annual organization meeting, and that is going to be on page
Oh, we jump all the way.
269. Yes, sorry, 269 in your agenda. So this is the county board president to establish a county superintendent compensation review subcommittee. As per county board bylaw 9500, setting the county superintendent salary, the county board president will appoint 3 members of the county board to a compensation subcommittee. The subcommittee will be responsible for conducting a review and making a recommendation to the county board on fixing the new superintendent's salary and compensation prior to the deadline for a candidate to withdraw from the upcoming election. The county board president will set the date for the review and will recommend to a subcommittee when the review needs to be completed. So we, as you all know, we will be having a new superintendent election coming up and in June. So we need to get a compensation in place so the candidates know what the compensation will be before their withdrawal time, which is in
March 6th.
March 6th. So this needs to go onto our meeting agenda for January. So the committee will need to, in the next couple of weeks, probably the first week of January, review the salary. And Dr. Gus said that there's a very specific format that you use to do the review. And then provide a recommendation to the board on the January 14th meeting. And then we will vote on the salary at that January 14th meeting. So I would like to appoint Mary Claypool as our chair for that committee,
Okay,
if you will accept,
I will.
because she has worked with this process in the past and is familiar with doing this. And the second person I would like to appoint is John McPherson, because you are the expert in this. ACCBE just asked you to present to the entire state of California on this topic. So I felt like that you were a good choice
Happy to.
if you're available to do that. And then the third person I was going to appoint was Annette Eastek for her finance background. But Annette, I believe you will not be back in town. Is that correct?
Yeah, if it's the first week of January, I won't. So I would have to join, by teleconference or whatever. So if you want to choose someone else.
Okay, so, yeah, I think it would be better to do it in person. So that leaves, Sandra, Jaime, and Virginia. What is your availability before, the upcoming January meeting?
Are we looking at a specific day as of now, or a week, or what are we?
So I would suggest probably the let me look at my calendar really quick. The first week of, somewhere between the 5th and the 9th of January. And then the committee would just have to work together to come up with a time that,
And probably more for Mary and John, we're looking at a daytime thing, right? Not in the evening?
Yes, that's-
Okay, oh wait, sorry. Cindy just reminded us that the packet goes out on the 8th.
Okay.
So that means before the 8th.
before the 8th.
Fifth, sixth, or
Or the
seventh,
agenda.
I'm wide open. I can,
6 or 7.
What day is that?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I recommend the 6th. I mean, just because gives us a little more time
The 5th
than the 7th, the 6th.
or the 6th?
And it would be during the day.
Whatever.
Whatever
time you want to
works.
meet.
Will be, the earlier the better.
We usually meet during the day.
So I am available on the 6th up until 3 p.m. So
It
from
would be
any
before
time
that.
till 3.
Can I appoint you, Jaime?
Go for it, Jaime. Go for it.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you. There's my recommended committee.
So we
Colleen,
wanna-
so do you want to decide the time right now? January 6th, at what time?
What time, Jaime?
Yeah, I have all day till 3.
How about
Of
Nine?
course.
10.
10?
Gotta get over this calendar.
Yeah, I like 10.
Okay.
Okay,
6 at 10.
And where, are we meeting here?
At
Yeah.
10?
Okay.
Yes. And just so that all board members know how this works, as per the policy, and thank you so much, President Owen, for pointing out that John worked on this policy years ago with CCBE when it was in existence, which is why ACCBE asked him to train the entire state on policy and how it works. What is happening right now is Colleen is collecting all of the data for the
Just
comparison.
This morning.
Oh, good, you got the last one.
Last one.
The comparison data, as per the policy, you look at is it the 4 highest or largest districts in the county? It's the same comparison group that I'm looking at we, because we use the same comparison group when we do negotiations with our unions. So we always try to keep it the same. And for the superintendent's salary, it also includes the 2 community college president's salaries and the superintendent's salary for all class 3 county offices. So Colleen has been working behind the scenes to collect all that information. She will then do the math. Typically what happens as per the policy is whatever the average is of all of those salaries is where the new superintendent step A is typically set. But of course, the board subcommittee has room as long as you stay within the policy. So I hope I said that correctly. So you don't have to do any work in preparation. Colleen's doing all the work.
And when will we get the info so that we can review prior to the meeting?
This is a difficult time of year.
It is.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I've got 2 Mondays and Tuesdays coming up, so I can get it together.
Thank you.
I'll get it to you like by, let's see, January 6th, so I can name that tune and
Is the second a possibility?
yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure I have it to you by the 2nd.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, sorry for squishing this in such short notice.
It's a good idea.
Deadlines are deadlines.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're on, I'm sorry.
Sandra had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't sorry to me. It's not taken. You should never say sorry. That's my belief. When you open up the protocol of the subcommittee, how long will it take to get it wrapped together? Like how many meetings they will do to provide us the info?
One meeting, so it'll come to us on the January 4th. The subcommittee's review will come to us on the January 14th meeting. So it'll be in your agenda packet. Their recommendation will be in the agenda packet, and then we'll be voting on it on January 14th.
Okay, so this is the protocol, how the MCO works. It
Yes.
is- Thank you, that's all.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else? All right, we are going to move on to new business, item 6.1, annual organizational meeting. 6.1.1, election of president of the Monterey County Board of Education. John.
So I have a nomination, but I have a recommendation. Is doing this for a while, and so going through these and kind of, playing Tetris as the things are falling. So we have an incredibly busy year coming up. Busiest ever for things that are board and county committee related, starting tonight. And then we just got another charter school appeal. And we have the thing in South County, which we've got to figure out. And we're gonna have a bunch of interdistrict transfers again. The only thing we're missing is an expulsion appeal. So my recommendation is that we do some continuity, but make a few changes. So my recommendation, and I'm going to nominate Heather to be president again. My recommendation is Sandra goes to vice president of the board. My recommendation is that Annette stay chair of the county committee. And my recommendation is that Jaime go to vice chair of the county committee because he's the South County representative and that's where all the fun is right now. So that's my recommendation. And because of that, and I will nominate Heather to serve another term as president.
Okay, so you're saying Annette to chair, Jaime to vice chair, Heather to president, Sandra to
Vice president.
president.
We only go one at a time.
Yes,
okay.
I'm just trying to keep in my, you threw a lot at me
Okay,
there.
all right.
I'm just trying to make sure I understood all of, this is chair and vice chair. Any other,
So are we looking for,
we're looking for
Only for chair. right
chair,
now.
Right.
no, only for president, right,
President.
right now.
Right, and I've done a nomination, so we would need a second.
for president only?
For president only.
Oh, yeah, you got a second. I think that, well, I think everybody should stay where we're at. And only because experience-wise. 1 year, and I don't know where the idea of every year we have to switch came from, and it's okay, but I don't think you get enough time in 1 year to learn everything you need to do. And just when you're starting to get there, everybody, let's play musical chairs. So I absolutely agree. We keep Heather where she's at.
Throw me under the bus.
I agree with Jaime as well. It takes more than a year to really, get yourself deeply involved in all this decision making, and it's not easy, Heather. I've been watching you growing and experiencing, and sometimes we learn to agree and disagree, but nothing personal. This is politics. So I do agree with Jaime that, I would like to see you there another term.
All right, thank you. Any other comments?
It's a question. Do you want to do that?
That's
a good question.
Yes, I am willing to take on the position. Do I want to take on the position? That's another question, but I am willing to take on another position, take on another year in this position.
Okay.
So it's
Virginia-
been moved and
Virginia is
seconded.
much kinder than me, because I was just gonna vote you in.
Oh, yeah. All right, so can I get a roll call vote, please?
Heather Owen,
Yes.
Annette Eastick,
Yes.
John McPherson.
Yes.
Virginia Mendoza,
Yes.
Jaime Fernandez.
Yeah.
Mary Claypool, Sandra Ocampo.
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
Well, before we move on, it
Oh, yeah.
is a tradition of the board. Usually it's the vice president who's doing this, but you do get a lovely parting
Oh.
gift.
Thank you.
Don't expect one next year. No. But no,
So I save it until next year.
where the board has done this traditionally forever, it is a very, very difficult job to be the chair. It's not only running the meetings, it's doing the agenda and all the things that come up. So we really appreciate the time that you put in.
Well, thank you. Should I open this now?
Sure.
All right,
You wish.
all right, let's see what I get. You should have offered this to me before we voted, and then I would decide if I would stay.
That's why we do it the way we do it.
Yeah,
Well, we should say that if the chair stays the second year, then the gift you get at the end of your second year kind of goes along with this.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Oh, okay. It's a paddle.
oh, boy. Oh, look at that. Ready for it. Heather Owen, thank you for your exemplary service during 2025 as president of the Monterey County Board of Education. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
So now you know what you're gonna get next year.
You know what? I think I've seen that one handed out before.
Is
Yes.
it possible to make a request that we have the new incoming president again in front and we can all take a picture?
Oh,
Let me grab a beer.
Great idea.
That's a great idea.
Oh, take, no, take.
Take out.
sure.
All right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh, thank you, Mel.
No worries.
I know.
I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Watch your step.
And I was just gonna say, you know, what I do is very important. Superintendent. Experience.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can.
We need this out here or not yet, but.
Whoa.
Okay, so we are going to move on to vice president. So we have John's nomination of,
I did not nominate.
oh, okay, sorry.
Right, and I'm going to now defer to Jaime, who had another idea.
Okay, we're on, sorry, 6.1.3. I'm lost where we are. I'm sorry. Oh, let me,
Authorize newly elected president to sign
sorry,
official
yes, sorry, thank you. I'm just going winging it here. 6.1.3, authorize the newly elected president to sign official documents.
I move that that the Monterey County Board of Education authorize the newly elected president to sign official documents.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Heather Owen,
Aye.
Annette Eastek,
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes,
John McPherson,
Yep,
Virginia Mendoza,
yes.
Jaime Fernandez,
Yes.
Mary Claypool, Sandra Ocampo.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Now we're on to 6.1.4, election of vice president of the Monterey County Board of Education. So Jaime,
I'd like to nominate Annette. Who's that? And again, same principle. It's a 1 year and you're learning and I think for the sake of continuing down the same road and not playing musical chairs again, that's where we're at.
second,
okay, it's been,
Jaime, could you repeat what was the nomination for?
vice president.
Vice President.
Oh.
for Annette.
so a nomination for Annette for vice president has been moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion?
Second.
Okay. All right, let's take a roll call vote.
Heather Owen,
Aye.
Annette Eastek,
aye.
John McPherson.
Aye.
Virginia Mendoza.
Aye.
Jaime Fernandez,
All right.
Mary Claypool. Sandra Ocampo.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Can I
6.
have a comment on that? Can I have a comment on that?
Yes.
May I think one of the reasons why they have it every year is because our term is 4 years. So we all get a chance to
Okay?
rotate and get into that position. Not that I don't want you to be, but I think that's the reason why it's every year. Because if one person stays 2, 3, 4 years, and one board member is gonna be here only for 4 years, then that board member won't get a chance to have any of those positions. Am I right on that? I think it makes sense to
Probably,
me.
yeah.
Yeah,
To me, that makes sense, the reason why it's every year.
yeah, some county boards, do it where it's like the Tommy said, at least 2 terms, so you kind of get your feet wet. Some do it every year, some don't have anything, so, but that's very valid.
I think it just makes sense, the reason why it's every year.
That's probably why the law says you have an annual organizational meeting. But as far as practice across the state and across districts, in some districts or some county offices, the same person stays in the same seat for, as John said, sometimes 2 years, sometimes more than that, because not everybody always wants to be in one of those seats.
I understand that some people might don't want to take the responsibility to be the president, for example, but I think that it will be good to step out of your comfort zone to say, well, let me give it a try, and it's another experience, I'm just saying that's what I think it is. Common sense.
I understand that, and it makes sense if everybody wants to be the president. And not everybody does. I, for one, could care less. But I think when you get to the point that you just start to do a good job at it and you're starting to learn all the little things that go along with it, it just doesn't make sense to say, wait, it's somebody else's turn. Not so much that it's just your turn, right? We have to rotate every year, and that doesn't make sense to me. Let's keep it where we're at. Let's everybody learn, and then next year we look at it again and nominations can be made.
Thank you. And I understand when you say some people might don't want to do it, but you don't want to punish the rest of the group that might want to do it.
Okay, but you had the
You say-
opportunity to make a nomination.
And no, I'm just saying, it's just a comment, because I was thinking about the reason why it's every year.
Actually, Virginia, traditionally, not at the county level, because I've been here for 3 years, but it's like depending on the direction, of the board, which way they want to go. If they want to rotate every year, it's an option. If you cannot make it, then the following will follow through, but that's an option, in another districts, they nominate the president, the vice president, and the clerk. So it's like they run differently. But you were right. If you're not thinking in being here for more than 4 years, then you were not given the opportunity to be the vice president or the board. You're right, absolutely too. So it's like, and historically, I think the 2 years that we give in to Heather is not traditionally, it's a new history that we're
No,
making, right?
Just a quick correction there. On my time here, there were 2 instances where we did a carryover.
Oh,
So it's not the first
oh,
time.
it's not new.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So it's like Hyman saying, if we can bring it back next year, when we come to this time to speak, then we need to speak and say it before we call the motion.
All right, thank you, Sandra. We're gonna move on.
Thank you.
We're on 6.1.5, seating the newly elected vice president. So Annette's sitting there on the phone. 6.1.6, announce the Monterey County Superintendent School as the ex officio secretary and executive officer of the county board. So,
I'm here, sorry, I had to go to the restroom.
sorry, we're at 6.1.6, and how do I do that?
You just say it.
I just announced it.
Then it's announced.
All right. 6.1.7, appointment of county board representatives to outside agencies and county board committee members, page 23 of the agenda. Okay, so now we're getting in, so we have president and vice president done. Our next person is chairperson of the Monterey County Committee on School District Organization.
Well, following up with Jaime, what, Jaime is eloquently said, I think we should keep Annette in the chair and we keep Sandra in the vice chair.
Okay, let's focus on chair. Okay, chairperson, do I have any nominations for? chair?
This one is,
Oh,
It's
no,
just a-
oh,
it's,
We don't have to.
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
yeah, as long as
just
the
point,
people
okay.
want to do it.
Oh, we don't nominate and vote?
So it's saying.
We will, I believe, adopt it all at once.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. See, learning experience. I don't remember from last year.
that's why you should stay there.
Okay, so, Annette,
I'm willing.
okay, so we're gonna put Annette.
Not enthusiastic, but willing.
Really excited about doing that.
Sound that way.
It's actually a tough job. It is.
Yes.
But it's been a good learning experience.
Okay, and then, Vice Chair Sandra, are you wanting to do that?
Yes.
Jaime, do you expressed interest, or was that John that expressed interest for
I
her?
expressed interest for
For
Jaime,
Jaime.
which he is quite adequately stated. He preferred it the way it is.
I will defer to my speech earlier.
Okay, so we're gonna put Sandra in as Vice Chair. Okay, Monterey County Office of Education Safe and Healthy Schools Coalition, currently serving as representative is myself, Sandra, and Jaime. Anybody want to jump in there and serve on this committee, or anybody wanting to step off this committee?
I would like to. No, but I'll wait. Not on
Okay.
that committee.
I am happy on this committee, so I will stay there. Jaime,
Yes.
I'll nominate Jaime for a representative of that committee.
okay, and then Sandra, you're on this committee. Do you want to stay on, or do you want to step off?
No, I want to change it to the Head Start committee now. I want to go to the other route.
Okay, so I need one more representative on this committee. Virginia?
Yeah, but I've been already choosing two.
I'm already with you on the other committee with,
At the Head Start committee?
Head Start.
Okay.
I'm already in that.
You can be on more than one.
It can be in more than one.
Yes.
You sound disappointed.
No, I'm just thinking that he just said that we're gonna have a busy year, and I already have a busy schedule for the next 6 months. So I don't know if I should commit to more meetings.
If you cannot make it, I'll become your alternative,
Okay, then I can do that.
okay?
Okay, so I'm putting you in
We'll be learning together.
Virginia. So on that, we're gonna have Heather, Virginia, and Jaime.
Good one.
Okay.
Okay, so serving on Head Start, currently we have our representative is Virginia and our alternate is Sandra. And then Sandra, I heard you say you want to go to the representative on that one
Head Start.
for Head Start.
Switch. You mean you want to switch? Sandra goes to representative and Virginia goes
Goes
to
to-
alternate?
Yeah, I'm not, she said she wanted, Sandra said
Which
that
one
she
is that?
wanted
Head
to
Start.
be.
Oh, the Head Start, yeah, Head Start, I took on to be on the committee and then the representative, no, Virginia will be the committee and I'll be the representative. Chair of
I
the
don't
committee.
understand.
There's a
Oh, yeah.
representative and alternate.
Alternate.
You want it to stay like this? That way.
Yes,
You
yeah.
want to, or you want to switch?
No, this is the way it is. Virginia will be the first one
Okay.
and I'll be the alternative.
So it's to stay where it is.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, so Sandra wants to be the alternative. Virginia, do you want to be the representative on that committee?
Yes,
That's where you guys are at now, right?
Just like it is.
Yeah,
as it
nothing
is.
changed.
Okay,
Remains the same.
Remains the same.
parliamentarian, currently serving is John and Mary.
And we're killing it.
What?
We're happy where we are.
Can I ask what you guys do?
Thank you very much.
You guys in order.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're
Keep
doing
the
such a good
peace.
job that I don't even know what you do.
Parliamentarian is if there's issues with Robert's rules and
Okay.
those sorts of things.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Mary parliamentarian this morning already, so she's on it.
yes. Thank you, Mary. See, I didn't realize you were doing your job, Mary. Thank you.
Stay where we are.
That's right, she was doing her job.
Okay, our CSBA legislative representative currently serving is John, and you're
Who's gonna
killing
fight
it, John.
I'm not on the legislative committee anymore. I am now on the ACCBE legislative
Great.
committee. So
Can we
I'm,
change that to ACCBE?
I don't care. Happy to continue.
Okay,
We'll make that change.
No alternatives on that committee, John?
There aren't any now. But if anybody wants to be the alternate, I'm happy to have
Would you
one.
like to be an alternative?
So tell me what, in case you cannot
Sure.
attend the meeting, then.
No, it's, yeah, so it would be, if I can't attend an ACCBE meeting and you'd be invited anyway.
That'd be great.
And they're all online. And then just, be prepared to report on legislative matters, that are discussed at the committee or that we are just in general.
Well, as I was checking my agenda for next year, it's getting really full, so I think I will pass this one.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay. Representatives to outside agencies and organizations, Child Abuse Prevention Council, I'm currently serving, and John is my alternate. If somebody wants to step up and take that, great, and if not, I'm happy to stay.
Or if somebody wants to be the alternate too. I've done this one for 15 years.
Actually, I am very interested in that one, so if I can become an alternate.
You got it.
You don't want to be, do you want to be the representative, Sandra? And I'll
That's
be
too much
your,
on my plate.
oh, come on, and I'll be your alternate?
Okay, then.
Do you want to?
Yes,
Sandra?
you will help me
Yeah, you just go to the meetings and report.
and report. Okay, whatever, if I need some advice, I'll check up on it.
Yeah, and Colleen is very helpful too.
Okay.
So Sandra's gonna be the rep,
representative.
and I'm gonna be the alternate. That sounds fair. That's what I did for John. Okay, Monterey County School Boards Association, currently serving is Mary Claypool as a representative, and our alternate is Virginia H. Mendoza. Are you guys happy there? Mary, you want to stay on?
Unless somebody wants it. Everything's up for grabs.
There's nobody raising their hand.
I'm in my.
Annette, are we keeping you in the loop here?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll jump in if I need to.
Okay. All right, Mary, it looks like you will be representative. Can I put your name down there?
I'm good.
And Virginia, you want to stay on as the alternate?
Yes.
Community, JPA representatives, Community Human Services, currently serving is Annette Eastek and alternate is Mary Claypool. Annette, do you want to stay on that position?
Yeah, I definitely want to, because we're replacing the CEO right now, and I'm involved heavily in that.
Okay. Mary, you want to continue being the
No, that's
alternate?
fine.
All right, standing committees, Monterey County Board of Education Policy Committee. Currently serving as a chairperson is Annette Eastek. Representatives are Virginia and Jaime.
I would like to stay on there.
I think John needs a little more work though. We'll see his name too many places.
I'm down I'm on the facilities committee, Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, Jaime wants to stay.
I'm happy to be on the policy committee as well.
You will be the chairperson. because
Well,
you have the other title already.
Well, Annette, do you wish to stay on the
She's on.
policy committee?
I can do it either way, whatever, if you want to be on it, I'm happy to step off. The other thing I was going to suggest is being chair of that committee is a great way to learn to, run a mini meeting. So I thought maybe either Virginia or Jaime, if they stay on the committee, that they might want to be chair of that committee. And I'll step off. I don't care either way. I don't need to be chair, nor do I need to be on that committee. So whatever, if anyone is wanting to practice running a meeting or, running a meeting, that would be,
Virginia is
that's a good spot.
That was a very long answer to a yes or no question.
Virginia says she'll take it, so how about
You stay
Virginia
on,
goes
right?
to chair and I go to representative and you come off?
That's a great
There you
idea,
go.
great
Sounds
recommendation.
good.
Okay, and then our last is the Monterey County Board of Education Facilities Master Plan Committee. And our chair is currently Mary, representative is Annette and John.
I'm good.
You good, Mary?
I'm good.
And I would like to stay on that.
Okay, so Mary, Mary,
Me too.
okay, so we just want to leave it exactly the same? Mary
Yes, no.
chair,
Yeah,
Mary's chair,
yeah, sounds good to me.
Annette's representative,
Yeah, that's not something you want to make.
and John is
In the middle of
Yeah. middle of it.
representative. Okay, so do we vote on these separately or we just go through the?
Just on 6.1.7, the motion is there.
I move that the Monterey County Board of Education appoints county board representatives to outside organizations, county board committee members, and as decided at the annual organization meeting.
Second that motion.
Okay, can I get a recall? Can I get a roll call vote? No, it's on my mind. That was hilarious. Aye.
Annette Eastex,
Yeah,
John McPherson,
Aye.
Virginia Mendoza.
Aye.
Jaime Fernandez,
Yes.
Mary Claypool. Aye. Sandra Campo.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. We're moving on to 6.1.8, approval of establishment of calendar of regular county board meetings for the board year 2025. That should be 2026.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, it should be.
Page
Sorry.
25. So our proposed meeting dates are as followed on page 25 of your agenda. The January 14th meeting will be a 3 p.m. meeting. February 11th, we're gonna have a board retreat. And then you can see the rest of the dates there. I did mark on my calendar that I am out of town on the July 15th meeting. I would be able to call in, but I don't know how much flexibility we have with moving dates or if we want to even discuss that. Mary?
I don't want to discuss that.
Okay,
I wanted to discuss the February 11th board retreat date.
okay,
We had a discussion last year that when we do the retreat in February, it overshadows Black History Month and doesn't allow us enough time to do any presentations. So I don't know how we get around that because we don't do our retreat in January like most boards probably would do. And it's probably too late to do it in January now because we've already probably started scheduling meeting, agenda
yeah,
items.
we have the navigator.
We have done it in March
We have
before.
done it in March quite a few times. That's kind of late in the year for a board retreat.
That's
but it's not.
the challenge.
Well,
It's doable, but still.
the other challenge with March, which why we were suggesting February, because forgot that that's why we were doing it in March, is because in the past, when we do it in March, there's a few board items that have to be approved at that meeting. And we've been asked by the board to only put the items on the retreat agenda that you all want on that agenda. However, to follow the law, Colleen's financial second interim has to get approved so she can submit it to the state by the deadline. So we can go back to March, but you have to give us the grace and allow us to put some other items on the agenda.
I have an idea. Could we, for the February, start the meeting here, take care of whatever business we have, including the resolution presentation, take a recess, and then move over to
The Hardin
Hardin Foundation for the board retreat part of it. So we'd start here and then we'd go there.
I vote with that.
Is there any way that we can do both over there?
It's hard to, it's a hard place to do, you know, the presentations with with all of that stuff, you know, it's kind of hard to find. So,
Small.
I just want to share something, Madam Chair, that I will be leaving out of town at the end of January. And I would love to be at the board retreat.
How long are you gonna be out of town? You said a couple,
Excuse me?
how long are you gonna be out of town?
For a month.
For 1 month?
Actually, right after the January 14 meeting, I'm taking off.
Okay.
Does it help to
And,
February's meeting?
Can I?
and when are you returning? Sorry. Can we find out first?
Yeah,
When are you returning, Sandra?
I'm returning. We're just checking our calendar, Robert and I. We're returning like on January 14. We're here for a whole month. We're leaving January 14, or we're packing and everything to go. So by February 14, we're coming back. So they will not allow me to be at the board retreat.
Could you be on go?
That's not-
So we can make it in March, that would be
Retreat is kinda
easier.
awkward.
Or
That was March.
you could, or we could move, if we could look really quickly, you could move that February 11th meeting to, we're looking to see
It'd be the
February
18th.
18th. That
I-
works?
But that,
Before you say that, I am in South Carolina from February 11th through the 18th. That's why I heard you say the 18th, so I better throw this in there.
18th doesn't work for me either.
Okay.
And then you're also gone February 11th.
I am gone February 11th through February 18th. I fly back on the 18th.
So you're open for March then, more than.
We could do the 25th.
March 20.
February
February 25th.
but we're not talking,
Wait,
are we talking about the board retreat? So I feel like we have two things going on. One is, are we moving the board retreat to the March meeting? Or are we keeping it in February and doing? Okay, okay,
So-
I'm following with what our options are, because we're talking about keeping it in February, doing our business here, and then moving for the retreat somewhere else. So, but then we've got people who are not available on the,
Well, you will be
February
Sandra that
11th.
won't be
Alright,
present.
Change the date.
yeah. Somebody wanted to say something?
But I'm out of town on the 25th
Yeah.
of February.
So we
This
leave
is a
it at,
problem with, you know,
I
once
think
one
we
of
just have
us
our meeting on the
changes,
11th.
it changes
No one's gonna be
everything.
here.
Yeah,
just do it. She's on the 25th, just the two of you.
I'll be out.
The rest of us are here.
But you can, we still have a quorum
You can do
and
your
they can be
calling,
on the
too.
call if they have time.
it's difficult to do the retreat with people on
Yeah,
the
I know.
phone.
I like to do it in person. I don't
Right.
mind.
Can't
So
do it.
I think what I'm hearing is that we just have our regular meeting on the 11th,
Right.
and then we do the retreat on the March
In
meeting.
March.
Jaime won't be in
Yeah.
March meeting either.
I'll be on the 11th on,
So we have the same
Yeah.
problem.
No.
with Jaime.
Wait, Jaime won't be here?
No, March 11th, no, it's the 18th. I will be here March 18th.
Okay, so you wanna do move the retreat to March 18th? That way you want to do?
yes.
So. Okay. And
I'll just be at the retreat with y'all.
Okay,
so what, in order to do that, what we're asking is that you understand, we're gonna have to put a few more items on the
Yes.
agenda.
And you
We've already
mentioned
done
5
that.
bullets.
We've always done that anyway.
We have,
Yeah,
it's
you
just we
mentioned
always
5
get
bullets.
told to stop doing it and we can't.
yeah,
because
no,
those
no,
reports
it's
are
fine.
due.
I think it's the rush. I'm gonna tell you from my part that I feel like everything was thrown to us really fast, that we don't really get, at least me, I'm gonna speak for myself. Like, I remember at the retreat last year, we have Gladio presented to us, and it was like, it was, oh, what is this? So it was not, I think it was not presented appropriately because it was kind of rushed because that timing. So if we set up time for it, depending on how many items are in the agenda for the retreat, that we should reserve enough time for it, so we don't go too fast and because I don't think we did, we do the same thing.
Yeah.
We did last year.
And I would recommend that we schedule the end time to make sure that we have enough time,
Yes,
you know, so if we have to go 3:34, then fine.
yeah.
Doesn't matter, it's once a year.
Yeah.
But as long as we know ahead of time that we can reserve the time, so we can smoothly go through all the information we have to go through. Because I think it's important to get all the information, especially we have to vote.
Also, Madam Chair, what I'd like to share that in that last board retreat, we end up having a presentation, a GLEDO presentation that it took upon time. And then plus, we were checking the clock and we were saying we're running behind. And even the presenter was speaking so fast that I couldn't pick up some of her words and understand her clearly. So if it is possible to really take time when the presenter comes and do the presentation to us in our board retreat, to be more relaxed and not like a like non-stopping. And to me, it was too much, too fast. So I'd like to enjoy the time when I'm doing a board retreat with my fellow members and with the presenters and with you and the staff. So, you know, that's my request.
So just to clarify, to make sure we have it correct. What you are saying is January 14th at 3 p.m. works. February 11th still works, but not for the retreat, just a regular board meeting. March 18th, the retreat. And we will schedule that one at the Hardin Foundation. I will need to work with the board president on putting that agenda together, like what you all want at that meeting, other than that travel and conference policy, because you've already told us that you want that. And then if you want a different facilitator, you have to let us know that as well. So, and we don't have to, you don't have to decide that today, but you all should express your desires to Heather, and then I will work with the board chair to come up with that agenda. And then the rest
Now
of the
that you
dates.
mentioned a different facilitator, Denise,
Back to July.
I had known this lady who did a lot of training on us on the high school district. She's African American. Her name is Nicole. You probably know her, Nicole Anderson.
Oh, yes.
She's a great speaker and very intelligent and charismatic, and you know, she reached out to you. So if it is possible to bring it on board, that would be nice.
What time is the March 18th meeting?
Regular time,
9 a.m.?
9
Okay.
a.m.
9 till as long as it takes.
Yeah.
And why do we have the January meeting at 3:00?
The reason the January meeting we're suggesting to be at 3 o'clock is because we always have 2 afternoon meetings a year.
Okay.
Typically, the first one is in October because we have to approve the resolution around the instructional materials and you,
That's
or
the September one.
September. And we have to do it before
Yeah.
October. And that one, we need to allow staff and anyone who'd want to talk about the instructional materials to be present. So if you have that meeting at 9, it wouldn't be accessible to people who would care about it. And I do recognize that no one ever comes to that meeting, but just in case, that's why we do it at that time. The second afternoon meeting is usually in April. There's no reason for it to be in April. It's just been the board's desire to have 2 meetings at 3 o'clock. This time, we're suggesting moving the 3 o'clock meeting from April to January for this reason. You can do your board business from 3 to 5. That is the night we have to have the second public hearing
Oh,
and a decision on the charter school. So
Okay,
it made
thank
sense
you.
to set the public hearing at 5.
5:30, I think it was.
I think that one's at 5, but
Tonight's 5:30.
Oh, tonight's
tonight's
5:30.
5:30.
Okay, sorry.
January's
Sorry.
at 5.
Blurring into my head.
But your regular meeting would go from 3 to 5 to cover all the business you normally would cover. And then we have the second hearing at 5. And after the second hearing, you will make your decision on that charter school petition.
got it.
That's fine. Okay, do you need to come back to the July
So-
15th?
Yeah, so I can call in at that meeting. So I know it causes a lot of grief trying to move things around. But I will not I most likely 99.9% won't be at that July meeting.
Annette, will you be in, town on July
I will
19th?
be in town.
Okay,
Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, so I can
my
call into that
calendar.
meeting, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then Annette will.
and, going to, all the way to December 16th, is there, I can't remember, is there like a rule of when we have to have that December meeting based upon, because there could be new people
Yeah,
seated because
there's
of an
election,
election
yeah.
and we've got that
Yeah.
covered?
Yep, and
Okay.
we count and, yep.
That's this document right here.
Okay, I'm going to assume that you've got it covered.
Okay, do you want to look at this?
15 times.
I have one more question about the
Yes.
board retreat. Back to the facilitator. How will the facilitator be selected? I know it's usually the chair and Denise, but,
You're the board.
Yes,
but then the board doesn't get to have any input in who
we want to talk about our facilitator at this moment.
no, I think we should do it in February.
In
I
February.
mean, February, January or February, but give us, who you're thinking of. I assume you have some people in mind that you want to consider.
I haven't even gotten that far.
So maybe
So
you could bring those back to the board.
To January, we want to put it on an agenda item
Yeah.
in January to talk about a facilitator.
Right now, we have two. We have the one who did it, and then we have the one that's.
Yeah, Nicole Anderson is from CSBA. She's all there. Knows all the policies and bylaws and ed codes and, yeah.
So we'll make it an agenda item. We'll put Sandra's suggestion. We'll put the current person who also was recommended by another county board member in the past. And then if anyone else has any other suggestions,
And you
please
can,
notify me, and then we'll put all those names and you all can vote on who you want for your facility.
Okay, any other questions or concerns about the calendar?
I just want to be sure that I understand how we're gonna handle. So January 14th stays, 3
Yes.
PM. And after that, we'll have the public hearing.
Yes.
Okay, on the 11th stays as, we just moved, it stays as regular meeting and we move the retreat to March
Yes.
18. It starts the regular meeting at 9 AM and the retreat after, as
Yep.
he was suggesting, and the rest is still the same.
Yes.
But we won't start here in March. We'll do it all at one place since we don't have a
The
resolution to
Harding,
present.
the Harding Foundation.
So everything will be
Where,
at the.
okay.
So you need
I
a
have
motion?
just a comment on some things. Is that okay?
Sure.
The CSBA folks are offering the Masters in Governance program for county board members, this year. And the way they're doing it is they are, I think, hopefully all of you received the email about the training, which will be the day before the county conference in March. And then there will be 3 kind of other meetings somewhere in between. And then there's a final meeting, or training, which will be Masters in Governance 5, which will be associated with it'll be the day before the September conference that I think is gonna probably be, they're trying to schedule it in Monterey like it has been in the past. They are having trouble finding a hotel that will host us or something. So they don't know when that date is going to be yet in September. I tried to get that from them. They say they haven't figured it out. If they schedule it at the same time as our meeting was currently scheduled in September, I would suggest that we reschedule that September meeting whenever we hear that, because I want to be able to go to that training if possible, and I'm sure some of the rest of you want to go. I think Virginia was interested, maybe Sandra as well. Heather was interested. And if that many of us are going to those trainings and the conference, we don't want that conflict. So I just wanted to put that out there. Since they don't have a date, we can't plan around that at this point. But I just wanted to get everybody's idea on that, because the one in March is in San Diego. The one in September should be local to us.
right, thank you, Annette.
So I have a question on that. So March is in San Diego,
Yes,
and then September is the last one.
yes.
What are the dates in between?
We,
Correct.
it's gonna be set
I
by,
don't have,
The date,
it's gonna be set by the people who enroll in the courses. The first and the last are set based on those conferences, and then from my understanding, everyone who's enrolled will then discuss when the next, I think it's the 3 meetings in between will be. So there's no set date yet.
And I went to that meeting in Monterey when they talked
Yes.
about it. And initially thought that would be a good idea to do. My problem is it's hard for me to just say, yeah, I'm gonna do that without knowing dates.
Yeah,
Because I got other things going on. I don't wanna go to 2 meetings and then have to miss the next 2.
right.
So it'd be nice if they could come up at least with a tentative date.
Yeah. All right, so we need a motion to approve our proposed meeting dates.
I make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, can I get roll call vote?
Heather Owen,
Aye.
Annette Easton,
yeah,
John McPherson,
I,
Virginia Mendoza,
Aye.
Jaime Fernandez,
Right.
Mary Claypool,
Aye.
Sandra O'Conco.
aye.
All right, thank you very much. We're on item 6.1.9, discuss the success of achieving selected county board priorities, page 27 of your agenda. Dr. Gus.
Yes, so each year, before you begin thinking about any new priorities for the coming year, we always give you an update as to the progress of your existing priorities. So the priorities that the board had identified last year was priority 1, to build out the West Campus to include a 500% conference center and offices. You see before you there, the update from our architects and our, what is Ryan's title? Sorry. Senior Director of General Services. I'm so sorry. Just having a brain freeze there. So in our last meeting, this is the update that we got from the architects. And so our Senior Director, Ryan Stewart, worked with the architects to kind of write out where we're at. You notice phase 1 timeline there. There's just a little DSA delay. And you can see that they are anticipating approval from early to mid-January into late January or early February. And that delay had to do with the help me people, the geo report,
Yes, this is.
the soils report
Oh,
came back stating that we need to do a few more things to please the
The agency that's responsible.
the agency that's responsible for geographical kinds of things. And we're not really sure if that has to do with, you saw Gilroy had a few earthquakes lately. And so, and they are expecting some more earthquakes to happen in California because typically every so many years you have them. So we don't know if that's why they're being much more picky on their geo report with this project and others this year or not. But anyway, you can see that's just a slight delay in the timeline. And then all the dates are listed there. And then the phase 2 part you see on the second page, that's just the update as to where we're at and the current timeline that we're on. And then priority 2, you had identified that last year that you wanted to advocate for special education funding and for evidence-based literacy, which was the science of reading. And so you did submit your advocacy letter for special education funding. Unfortunately, now and every year, we don't tend to see the federal budget include any increases for special ed funding. The promise was for 40%. It's never been funded at 40%. It's funded at about what? 23%. on a good budget year. So that is an area that you may want to continue advocating for if you so choose. The second legislation that you advocated for, that bill was signed into law, so we're all excited about that.
Well, and this is for Virginia, who's going to coast to coast. They'll talk about it, and I encourage you to express to them. Every year we talk about it, nothing happens. What do we need to do for special ed funding? Special ed funding.
And then priority 3 was to implement the Gladio Career Exploration Tool. So if you go to page 31 in your agenda packet, this is just an update as to the most recent progress. I know that Dr. Cortez gave an update to the board. I don't know how many months ago it's been now, but at a regular board meeting as to how many hits we have on the site and kind of where we were. These few pages that you see here are the most recent updates. We had an intern who came in, which happened to be Cindy's granddaughter, who's a CSUMB student. She's getting ready to graduate. She did an unpaid internship for us, and her project was to work on Gladio, calling all those businesses, trying to get the employers to advertise their job openings and their information on the tool. And you can see here, all these pages of all the calls, and she did make great progress. She did get several businesses on board. Excellent. And so that's where we're at with implementation of Gladio.
Can I make a comment, Madam Chair, on this 31 page? I went through it, and it's great to see that the approach is being very effectively within our community. But at the same time, it's sad that most of those people, they're not replying back. And so I read through, maybe there's more than 100 businesses on board. And the percentage of them are kind of I don't know, maybe 8%. So I guess my request will be, is there any way besides the phone call and the email that can we approach these companies by person? Like making appointments, getting to know the broker or the owner and bringing info on board and why we're trying to reach out to them instead of via mail, because I've noticed that some of these emails are past dated already. And it's time consuming for this person who's working so hard. And I feel sorry for Denise because I know she's a wonderful person. But when I see these results, we're talking about a year ago. And seeing these results, it's heartbroken to me. So what can we do better?
You board members can call the businesses. So I hate to say it that way, but it is your priority. It is your goal and your
It is our
priority. And our staff has done everything we can, including bringing on this unpaid intern to make phone calls, send the emails, make phone calls. But I think if we're going to get any more forward progress, we're going to need all of you to make phone calls. We're going to need all of you to go out to the businesses that you know. And I know several of you have already done that. And an example is John has brought in a couple of these business people to sit down, look at the tool and try to get them on board. It is a lot of work, but the personal phone calls from all of you or the personal contacts that you have with these employers, I think that would greatly help this move forward.
May I suggest that this be an item for our retreat where we go through the list and we assign board members and we do some calling.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, with that in mind, John, I had brought a couple of information from Denise from some of the stakeholders on the last conference that we all attended. And I will pass that information directly to her. The reason is that Fresno Unified School District has gathered many benefits of vocational careers, reaching out to different entrepreneurs. And so I will pass that info to Denise. Hopefully she can kind of make a connection with some of those stakeholders like the Honda and Toyota providing internships and training for kids at high school level.
Yeah, the ones that you've already passed to us, we reached out to all of those folks and like, for example, the Harbor Freight, They don't give internships in
No,
our.
we had that meeting
area.
before. Yes, I
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
So all that we, all that you've given us, we've followed up on, and that's why I'm saying, I think since you have the personal relationships with those people, instead of passing us the information, if you yourself could call those people, we're happy to be a part of the meeting and we're happy to show the tool, because I don't know how comfortable you guys feel showing the tool, but we need you to get the people and be in the meeting with us because you're the ones who have the relationships with those people.
Well, luckily, the Carpenter Union they were there doing the presentation in the hallways. Anthony's his name. He gave me his card. He said that he will be willing to talk to whoever is in charge of the Glero and, kind of see if there's anything that we can work together.
Absolutely.
So I'll have that info too.
Yeah, please do bring them in. We already did meet with Carpenters Union almost twice. But we need them to, if they are an employer, what happens when they meet with us is there's some forms that they have to fill out to submit their information to that Gladio website. We give them all those forms and we beg them to bring them back in so that we can load them on the website, but then they don't. And so that's the struggle. We've contacted business after business. We've met with them, phone calls. Terry Pimentel, she's like spent so much time doing this in addition to Julie, the intern. I know Dr. Porras as well. And I don't know if it's because the businesses are just so busy themselves and they just see this as one more thing on their plate or not. So what I'm trying to express is that we have done our best to get as many as we can get. So I think if you go back to John's idea, divide and conquer, if the board members can identify which of these businesses that you have a personal relationship with, or it could be people that are not on this list, but you think should be added to that website, that's fine as well. But once we've approached them and we've met with them and we've tried everything, then it's really on them. But I don't know what more we can do.
This representative is directly representing Monterey Countywide. That's what I like about the guy. And there was another representatives from different areas, from different counties, but this one says, I'm representing countywide area, Sandra. And I said, good, we're from the County Board of Education. He says, okay, here's my card. So we'll give it a try.
Yeah, so we'll get them a third try because we met with them twice. So third try, okay, might be the charm.
Can you remind me again of how this list was created?
The Gladio, with the website or the list?
The list that we're looking at right here.
Yes.
How did we get them on this list? I don't remember.
So the Chamber of Commerce provided a list of like all the businesses in Monterey County. And then, gosh, I want to say, right when this began to be implemented, Terry sent out communications, both a written, mailed out communication and an email communication, and tried to call as many of those businesses as possible. That was first attempt. Then it got turned over to Ralph and Denise, and they have been, same thing, making phone calls. Then we brought on Julie, the intern, who also followed, but that's where the list came from. It started with the chamber. So there's probably a ton of businesses that are out there that just aren't in the chamber, but we don't know who they are. And so it's up to any of those businesses that you may know that might not even be on this list that you think should be putting their information on the website. This is a hard one. And that's why if you recall, last year I asked if you would want to continue keeping it a priority, because it's not something that you can just do in 1 year and check off and it's done. If you're going to invest in this tool and get it to full implementation, it takes many years and much effort to do that.
Well, this board member's opinion is it was a good idea then, it's a good idea now, and we need to do what we need to do. All you can do is all you can do. And so let's, at our retreat, come up with a plan and go attack it. Those kids still need it. It's still a good idea. Those kids still need the tool and the connections and the pathway. to what it provides.
All right, thank you.
I just had a quick question on usage by the students and has it been successful, on their end? To the extent that there are some businesses who've signed up and thought it was a good idea. Are those providing connections for our students?
I think it's, hi, this is Ralph, Annette. I think the feedback we've been getting when we go out to schools and to do, presentations, very positive with the students. They engage it. They really like their time on there. We really don't have any specific data as to the success of students, linking the success of students being on Gladio and their connections with the businesses. It's not something we really necessarily track. We know anecdotally that it's been successful for students when they have the opportunity to get on the platform and engage with it.
And we know anecdotally because our intern and Terry has literally gone out to several of the schools in the county at their career fair days to share the tool. We, our own alternative education program, held their own career fair for our students last year. And all of the students at the career fair all had to be introduced to Gladio. They all took the test. They all engaged with Gladio there at the career fair. Even got, Terry made little stickers. Because when you take the test, you're identified as a creator, innovator, or whatever. So those, she made little stickers so that the students could like get really excited about, oh yeah, I'm an innovator. Oh, you're an innovator too. Oh, you're, and have those discussions. So anecdotally, it's being warmly embraced, and the districts that have introduced it to their students say they're very appreciative. But we don't, as Ralph said, I don't think we have the data yet to say, oh yeah, they got on the tool and now they got this job at Taylor Farms. That we don't have yet. Good question.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move on to 6.1.10, review a tentative calendar of Monterey County Office of Education Department and charter school reports to the county board. Visitations to MCOE school sites may be scheduled as the opportunity permits. That's page 35 in your agenda. And you can see we have our calendar of reports from the departments and a calendar of the charter school reports.
And I just need to make one note here. We do have the migrant education report scheduled for November. However, we're not sure if we're going to have a migrant education program in November, which I'm so sorry to say, but it's looking kind of gloomy right now with the two proposals that are at the federal level being considered. Now, of course, if it became a state program instead of a federal program and we were able to keep it in place, then that would change everything. So just note that if the program is no longer here in November, then that one would be removed. All right.
Yes, Mary.
In the past, I think, if I remember correctly, we've also had a report from the HR department. I'm not sure it was part of this calendar, but I know in the past, we have had them come and talk about the diversity of our workforce. Is there a way to incorporate that into one of these dates?
We can. Can you take November?
November?
Sure. Okay. Then for now, let's write we'll leave migrant education program slash HR. And then if there is no migrant program, it would only be the HR report.
Right.
Winter, I have a
Yes.
question. Also on page 37, the county for charter school reports. Every charter that is coming here will come, how many times a year?
The charter schools make their reports.
For an annual report?
Yes.
So each
Is that
charter
right?
school will come once a year to give an annual report. I will come at the end of the year to give an overall oversight report to you.
Okay, I think overall, the rest of the charter schools, with the exception of Oasis Charter School, I don't know if it is possible to make a recommendation to just keep us updated on a quarterly basis to see how they're spending and going forward, because they did a good job lately. So let's continue to support them and we become aware of how well they're doing and if they need any help from.
Yes, and home charter school, so it's not listed here, but home charter school typically makes more frequent reports as well because the county board had requested that they come more frequently. So this list is just the normal annual reports, but for Oasis and home charter, they are already going to come more frequently because this board wants to hear from those two schools more frequently about their academic progress and other challenges that they're facing. Also, just to make a note, if there are any other charter schools that this board approves this year, they too would get added to this list and have to give an annual report to the board.
That's my point, that overall, we have the annual report, but in the other hand, I personally will see myself for them to come every 6 months and give us a full report. Not the final report, but the final report in the middle of the ground.
So home
To keep us
charter and,
posted.
yes, so home charter and Oasis, because there have been some questions by the board in terms of monitoring academic performance and other issues. As Dr. Gus said, they can come on a more frequent basis. The other charter schools will only come annually. If you approve some of the new charter schools that are coming to us now, then you may want to increase the frequency because they're new and you want to monitor, but that will be at the pleasure of the board once we see if any new charters come to the county.
Okay,
Virginia? So you say that they only have to come once a year. But if we decide that they come more frequently to give I would say like a follow, not complete report, but just to keep us in the loop what's going on with the school, can we request?
Absolutely. It's at the pleasure of the board. I think that this is just a regularly scheduled to ensure that we meet an annual requirement that they're coming and meeting speaking to their authorizer. But if for any reason the authorizer has questions that you want me to send to them or that you want a specific topic for them to come and share with you, absolutely. At any point, you can request that.
And that's not necessarily have to be with the new schools, but with the previous, with schools that are
Correct.
listed out, we can do the same thing.
Correct.
I think that's something that we should do, just to, I don't know, don't give the whole day to say, well, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have the grades, but it's okay because we don't have to give a report until 8 months or whatever. If they know that they have to come like every 3 months and give a report, a chance for us to ask questions and see how they are doing, they will put more input to improve.
And
so to
Dr.
say.
Gus has said in the past that you are all welcome, you're the authorizers, to ask me to schedule any date to visit those schools, and charter schools want you to come and see what they're doing. So please let Cindy or Dr. Gus know if you're interested in going to a site, any of the 5 charters that schools that we currently authorize. And then just kind of a little pitch, we are going to have the February Inside Education is going to be featuring charter schools. I highly recommend that you sign up for that with Cindy so that you can visit 2 of our charter schools that we currently authorize, and then 1 that we do not authorize, just so you can kind of see what another model might look like.
Yeah. And let me also just remind all the board members, our charter school person is Michelle Archuleta. So even if these charter schools come to you once a month to give their annual report, it does not mean that they are not being monitored. She is in weekly communication with these charter schools. She goes out and visits much more frequently. The Inside Ed is just one more additional visit. And if there's ever any issue coming up with one of our charter schools, like governance changes or anything like that, she communicates that to me so that we can communicate that to all of you so that you will know if there's any issues or concerns. But it is her daily job to stay on top of all the charter schools, ensure that they are compliant and following their petition. We are happy to bring any of these charter schools as frequently as you want, but I just do want to caution you that it can bog down your agenda. So if you are going to want more frequent reports from these charter schools, just recognize that you need to account for that in the time for your agendas. And I just need to know if that's the pleasure of the entire board. Because if it's only one or two board members that want to know more about a charter school, it might be more efficient to take the one or two board members to the charter school. You can sit down, have all the time you want with those charter schools. And then that's just another way to, so I go back to the whole board. These are only the annual meetings that are reports that are required. But if you want more than that, I need the whole board to weigh in if there's more frequent reports that you want.
No, that's understandable, you know, you guys have the job to do. We're the board. You guys have to do the vision, the visit, the keeping the track, which is, that's what you do. But, you know, I'm glad that we're, you know, emerging. So if it is doable to do it at least every 6 months, I'll be happy to see that. But I can also go visit and provide her my support as well. So, yeah.
Any other comments? All right, thank you, Michelle. We are on 6.1.11, review of county board member compensation. Dr. Gus.
Yes, so I'm going to pass down a document that is the board member compensation and benefits comparison information for class 3 counties. We used to do this annually as per the board board bylaw that said we were going to do this. And then after doing it for so many years and realizing that our board was compensated at a much higher level than all of the other class 3 county offices, it was requested to just remove that from the board bylaw and to take it off as an annual organizational meeting item. However, it is being brought back to you this year, not because it's in the policy, but because the law has changed. And this law changed October 11th. And what this law does is allows for district boards and county boards to increase their annual compensation. So in years gone by, a class 3 county office was allowed to set their compensation at $300 a month. And then every year you had the opportunity to increase that amount by 5%. Now the law's changed to state that you can actually increase your compensation. I want to make sure, yes. In any class 3 counties, each regular member of the County Board of Education who actually attends all meetings held may receive as compensation for their regular member service a sum not to exceed $1,500 per month. And then if you take it to what is now the new floor, every year you can increase that by 5% as well. It is up to this board if you want to remain being compensated at the same amount of money, $500, or if you want to vote as a group to increase your compensation. And now you know that legally you are allowed to increase it as high as $1,500. This is not an action item for you today.
To $1,500.
Yeah.
Up to.
Up
Okay.
to.
So we are at 500
Up
now,
to.
we could go up to 1,500.
Yes.
Okay.
And then wherever you set it, then you can increase it as well, 5% each year after that, if you'd like. This is not an action item today. We wanted you just to get the comparison information today. And as you can see, we added this column, will the COE adjust board compensation based on the new legislation? That's this new legislation that I'm talking about. And most of the county boards are, it's still to be determined, or, well, one of them said no.
There's a no.
And there's a lot of TBDs and
Yeah.
unsure.
Yeah.
So you have time to think about it. This is something that if you want to revisit this at the board retreat or at a future meeting, you can do that.
I think a discussion of it at the board retreat would be a good use of time.
This is, I
I
believe,
agree.
signed by Governor Newsom,
Yep,
the latest bill, right?
Yep.
And I am aware that different districts have already approved that here locally. So I'll take a look.
And remember, this is not districts. This is county boards of
I
education.
know, I understand, but it's the same bill and law. They
Yes.
represent the districts and the county board.
and municipals too.
I'm
I'm
not sure about is
Yeah,
it
I think
municipals
it's,
as well.
yeah, I think it's,
I'm happy to also provide a copy of the legislation, then you can see, because it's different for what class size you are. And for school districts, the amount they can increase their compensation is different by the size of the district. So
Yes.
we'll make you a copy of all of this. Then you have time to think about it. We'll put it on the retreat agenda.
Very good, thank you. Thank you. Yes, look at what I wrote right here, John, I promise. Okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
thank you.
I'm gonna get you copies of this right now, then since we're. Come back. I'm sorry.
That's
Get
where I
in your
was born.
seat.
Can you?
Need to flash the.
Okay, we're on item 6.2, 2025-26 budget revision, page 39 of your agenda. Dr. Stanley.
Thank you very much. So this is all of the budget additions that have been made to our books, basically, since the board adopted the budget back on June 25th. So as you can imagine, there are quite a few things that happen and we do all kinds of tweaking to all of our programs and stuff. So on page 41, I put it together in kind of just a little summary so you can see what our ending balance was at adopted budget, and then you can see with all the changes that were made, what our ending balance is in at first interim. One thing I will make sure that you understand is that this is only Fund 01. This is only our county school service fund. And you will see that our ending balance is down by about 5 million. That was probably the first thing you noticed. And what I will tell you about that is we had put 3 million aside in our ending balance last year for our TIP program at La Jolla. We are now expending that money. So that is part of what you will see created that reduction in our ending balance. The other thing is we've moved about 1,500 into Fund 17 in preparation for the West Campus build out. And we have also we have transferred out 1.5 million into Fund 40, which is our capital outlay fund, in preparation for making the payments on the COPS that we took out, the $35 million COPS that we took out to pay for the West Campus build up conference center, I should say, sorry. So behind that are several pages of very small print, sorry, that shows you exactly what all the revisions were. And then all of these revisions you're going to see in the first interim report that I present after finishing a couple items. Any questions I can answer? So we're recognizing carryover as well as recognizing that we've got our facility projects that we need to pay for. Sorry, Mary. When it says decrease indirect costs, is that because the percentage changed? Yeah, it doesn't mean the percentage changed, but when we do our budget, we anticipate we have all of these programs that we will be able to take indirect cost from, which is the amount that pays for all of our business, HR, custodial type things. And then when we get to first interim, we actually can see what our programs are. So it's a number that's based on a real number as opposed to a budgeted number. So it has gone down. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions for Dr. Stanley? Yes.
On page 42, bottom. Just a simple question. Maintenance and operation, plus this 176,000 plus a year?
The 176 is carryover from the prior year.
Oh,
So it was money that hadn't been spent in the prior year that we're carrying over for that purpose for this 25-26 year. Yeah.
so we're lease buses, we don't own them.
We do own some. Yeah, so it's a combination.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Dr. Stanley. We're on to,
And that's an action item.
oh, is it? I
Yeah,
am so
this is-
sorry. Okay, I
Move
need
to approve.
and a second
Second, Doctor.
and motion, sorry, roll call.
Heather Owen,
Aye.
Annette Easteck,
Aye.
John McPherson,
Aye.
Virginia Mendoza,
Aye.
Jaime Fernandez,
Aye.
Mary Claypool, Sandra Thompson.
Aye.
All right, it's been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're on to 6.3, determination of the Monterey County Board of Education nomination of Monterey County School Boards Association 2026 Excellence in Education Award, page 49. Mary.
It's that time of year, you must make a selection of your top 3 for them to be considered at the January.
Extra sheet.
What you said? We have a thing going out here. I'm just kidding.
I need a new sheet.
There should be one at your
They gave you two.
No, I know,
I can give you a new
Here.
one.
but I need a third,
Why you didn't?
because I keep scratching them off. I'm not happy with my selection and.
Here's a new one. And where your paper says district, ignore that. It means board member's name.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
I was wondering why you needed the
I-
district number.
We
There we go.
don't.
Go, so we're
Just
just,
put your board member name.
Oh.
I'll fill yours and Sandra.
But anyway, at the last meeting, we went over the criteria, so if you have any questions about the criteria, we can talk about that. Otherwise, there is a list in the packet from which you can choose your top three. And then those top three will be given to Cindy probably or somebody to calculate, and then we'll come back and we'll vote on the top three that then go to the committee. And then the committee will incorporate those that come from the districts and everybody else. And then hopefully at least one of our top three will be in the mix, if not the winner. So choose wisely.
All right, we'll come back to 6.3 when we have the tally. Everybody's sheet needs to come.
Everybody get their sheet in.
So I have
Okay.
Annette's, Sandra's, John's, Heather's, Mary's. So I'm just waiting for Jaime and Virginia.
yeah, Sandra.
I'm Sandra's. Thank you.
Ah, yeah. Everybody can't win.
We're just waiting.
Peppers and cherry
I
peppers.
thought I had one.
John, did you make these or?
My wife.
Very good.
It's her thing.
Huh?
It's amazing.
It's her thing.
Yeah.
They're
no,
so
it's-
good. She should say.
I just can have the whole thing.
I thought I had read something here on the email.
And Terry's waiting right behind you, Virginia. So when you're done, Terry will grab it.
Get the fight over.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna,
Waiting for.
Like that.
we're gonna move to 8.2, payment of claims for November 2025. That's page 67 of your agenda. Dr. Stanley.
Thank you very much. You can see that in November, we had a very short month, only $1.7 million. That's what we're paying for it this month. So we've got a bunch of them that we're processing for December.
Year end.
I did,
No, not year end. Sorry.
yeah, no.
That's,
And it's just two that I thought some that people might be interested in is the Lexia Voyager cost, and it's showing on page 73, it's 92,000. This is kind of fun, actually, and it's directly related to the science of reading. It's our educational services department who has purchased this. It's kind of a curriculum plus training, kind of a training of the trainers for all of our districts. So that was an exciting purchase. And then the only other one that's the big ticket on this one is the expense for Webster Bank, and that's the cost payment to the debt, long-term debt for our community school still. You are probably familiar with seeing that one. Any questions I can answer?
All right. Seeing none, thank you, Dr. Stanley.
Thank you.
We are on 8.3, Monterey County Office of Education, 2025-26 first interim report, page 107. Dr. Stanley.
Thank you. So, exciting times in my life. I love to report that I've got some really stellar people right now in our business office who helping me put together these. The first page on page 107 is really probably the most important page, the one that says that we will be filing a positive certification because we know that we will be able to meet all obligations, not only in this year, but in our 2 subsequent years. So all of the other pages that are in here, up to page 122, kind of mimic the budget revisions that you already saw, and they outline in quite a great detail all of the increases and decreases in each of our major object categories. So then, what I like to do is just put together a quick little PowerPoint for you so you can see the differences that have happened since you did the adoption of the budget in June. So here in a nutshell are where our beginning balance was an adopted budget, and then you can look at the end of first interim column, which shows that 19,801,000, which is what you saw for your budget revision approval. As I mentioned, the differences in that is because we are moving money out into Fund 17 for the conference center and to Fund 40 for the COPS payments, because our Fund 40 is our capitalized reserve. And that's where we put the money in order to make payments for our capital projects. Our ending balance, this is one of the slides that we need to call out by law to show you where our ending balances are. We've got 5,000 for revolving cash. We have a 17,000 EPA amount. I keep my LCFF reserve in there of 3,530,000. CalPERS reserve, we're still keeping that in there, 1.7, because that amount keeps going up. So we want to make sure that we have that sufficiently covered. The OPEB liability, I generally have in there at about 8 million. I've had to reduce that down to 6 million. So in the way, so that's the other post-employment benefits that we continue to reserve as trying to fully fund that liability. So I've had to reduce that down just a little bit. So what that means is I wouldn't be able to fully fund that liability as soon as if we have an $8 million reserve there. Differentiated assistance, this is current ed services reserve for differentiated assistance that we carry at the bottom, making sure that we call that out. And then our economic uncertainties at 4%. If you remember, for the County Office of Education, the state recommended reserve is 2%, but we always make sure that we have 4%. 4% is much better than 2% and still will likely not cover very much as, you know, if some disaster happened, but we feel better at a 4%. So this is just a quick look at our total revenue and what the breakdown is, kind of pie chart wise. So our LCFF and property taxes is the blue amount up there at 28%. We've got our federal dollars right now, it's 25%. Always taking a look at that and what the legislation is doing to affect that. We have our other state revenue in there at 11%, and then other local revenue which comes in. And this is a little bit different than what it looks like with school districts. They won't have quite such a large amount in local, but it's because of the agreements that we have with all of the districts and the funds that come in because of the services we provide to them. So here's a quick look at our expenditures. As you can see, our certificated salaries, classified salaries, and employee benefits make up a great percent of our total expenditures. And then along with our books and supplies, services, and other operating expenses. The services and other operating expenditures increased for this first interim specifically because we are now budgeting that carryover that we had. If you saw, if you noticed on the other spreadsheet, we had about 15 million in carryover. And so a lot of that is what you'll see right here in this huge $45 million amount for services and other operating. So that brings our total expenditures to 144,978,535. Ralph just looked at this at his watch.
I got buzzed.
I thought it was a signal to keep moving. So here's, did I do this one? Oh yeah, this one right here. So this one, another little pie chart that kind of just shows you where all of our expenditures are. And it's pretty, so I like to put it in there. Our expenditure comparison just between our unrestricted and our restricted sources. This is the reminder to you all that county offices, again, are very different than school districts. We have about 75% of our expenditures which match with our revenue that is restricted, so it carries strings with it. So we have very little discretionary funds that we can use for whatever we need to use them for. So it's about opposite for school districts. And then I like to put in here the cash flow. So you can see that we are still doing well with cash flow. It's one of the things that we check along with budget. And we also make sure that we take a look at all of our districts as we're going through the year so that we can make sure that they will not be cash poor also. And my closing comment is always this lovely mission statement that my staff has together for us for the Finance and Business Services Division. And I'm not gonna read it because it's like one sentence and it takes way too much breath. But I can totally answer any questions for you.
Describe for my own interest, what's the meaning of RTAC allocations?
Which one is it? Is it on one of my slides?
RTAC.
Oh, that's our Regional Technical Assistance Center, which is the regional program that we run for the community schools that have been set up in many of our districts. How many districts do we have community schools in now? Oh, we have the most, I think. Yeah, so it's a regional program we get funding for to support all of our school districts and have community schools.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any rumblings out of Sacramento of what the governor's proposal will look like in January?
Nothing that makes us concerned. I think it's gonna be a typical January budget where it's just business as usual.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the most difficult things, right? That school districts start building their budgets now based on the January budget, which is, yeah, just a guess. They did say something the other day about possibly, people were saying, is there gonna be a super cola again, and they're like, no, that is not gonna happen. Whether or not we can actually fund the 2.3 that is being proposed from the Department of Finance is even in question at this point. So we'll be very conservative as we move forward and build that 26-27 budget with probably a 2%.
Well, and because you asked that question, we should probably add to the conversation a little bit. There is conversation around the funding that we get for differentiated assistance. We think, we're hoping that it will still be funded at the same amount. However,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be funded at the same amount. What we're really hoping is that they approve the model that was presented, which would mean that Monterey County only loses about 200,000, which is really good news.
and let me back up and give you
Yeah.
context. Sorry, I was gonna get there. Where I was going with this is the state board president, Linda Darling Hammond, who, as you know, is appointed by the governor, asked that the DA eligibility criteria be looked at because there's a concern that too many districts are qualifying for DA. And how many districts are qualified for DA is tied to the amount of money that county offices receive to provide DA services. So the reason this is important is depending on what direction the state board goes with this, if the model changes and the funding changes, that could, as Colleen got to the bottom of it,
Sorry.
we could lose a little bit of funding for that. We just don't know yet. We won't know until, do you know when that decision is being made by the state
I
board?
don't know.
I think it's within the next couple of months, so hopefully we'll know.
Any other questions?
I just have one for Colleen. It gives me great comfort that you're saying we will finish the remainder of this fiscal year meeting all of our obligations. But then you also say, as well as the 2 subsequent years. With the economy all over the place these days, how did you get to the subsequent 2 years?
With my crystal ball. Yeah, and that's a very good question, Mary, and it's one of the requirements for us, right? And for school districts that we have to do a multi-year projection, which is based on the best kind of, I don't want to say guess, but educated guess that we can use. And of course, we use school services dartboard, which helps give us some guidance. And so you can see that the multi-year projection is included in the packet right here. In fact, I was going to mention that the next 50 pages or whatever it is, I think 50, are all of the reports, the SACS reports that go to the state. And so the summaries that we put together hopefully make this a little more palatable as you're looking through this. But I would bring your attention to maybe to Fund 40 because we talked about it and that was on page, oops, sorry, turned my page here, on page 187. Just so that you can see that we did transfer money into this fund, which is why it reduced our beginning balance, our ending balance in Fund 01. So you can see that we're currently showing an adjusted balance here of 35 million. So what that means is we put money into there to make sure that we're covering all of our construction projects right now. And we have quite a few that are going on right now. And the thing that keeps happening is they keep ratcheting up a little bit. And so I'm being really conservative about making sure that we've got enough money to take care of all the projects that we have currently in place. The TIP TIP program at La Jolla is one of them, making sure that we've got our conference center covered here. We have done the parking lot at the Harvey Kuffner building. We've got Bart Blate's project. So just trying to be really conservative and making sure that we've got enough to cover all of those costs. DSA costs continue to go up. That's Department of State Architects. Those services continue to go up. So yeah.
So it's kind of like,
Yes, I juggle and I'm just really conservative about it to make sure that we are gonna be fine in this year and the 2 subsequent years. Thank you for asking.
This is why Colleen of Dr. Stanley cannot retire until after I retire.
Thank you. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Stanley. We're on item 8.4, workers' compensation, unfunded liabilities, page 233. Again, Dr. Stanley, you're not hooked yet.
Thank you. This is really good news, because if you look on page 235, you can see that the MIRMA JPA, that were our workers' comp JPA, is in very good shape. We have total assets of 51 million with total liabilities only at 14 million. So what that means is we have a really good net position, and so we will never be asked to make any contribution to this JPA like other JPAs have run into problems with. So this JPA is being run really well, and I'm proud to tell you that I am the president of this JPA this year, so.
Oh, wow.
I was going to ask you to say that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Dr. Stanley on this?
Great job.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Stanley. Item 8.5, Monterey County Home Charter School Update and Academic Progress, page 237 in your agenda, and this is gonna call on Dr. Vella.
yes.
It's following on Dr. Vella today because our home charter school principal is out on leave right now. She will be returning, I think, within the next couple of weeks. So Dr. Vella is making his presentation on her behalf. And this ties back to the conversation that we had earlier. The board had asked for both Oasis and Home Charter to make more frequent reports than their annual report. So this is one of these progress update reports.
Thank you, Dr. Gus, and good morning, members of the board, President Owen, colleagues, Dr. Gus. Get the clicker here from Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Wonderful. I appreciate this opportunity to come before you. As Dr. Gus has mentioned, in the last couple of weeks, I've had the great honor and opportunity to be the interim principal, if you will, or the acting principal there at Home Charter. I have really appreciated that opportunity because it has given me firsthand knowledge as to the work that's being done there at Home Charter. Granted that 4 weeks is not enough to capture the whole scope of the work there at Home Charter, but nevertheless enough for me to now have some substance that when Principal Dermody comes back, our conversations are much more deeper now that I can get to feel and taste the school in its progress. I have prepared a presentation for you that is going to review, once again, the model of the school. I think it's important for us to cover that. And then what you're more curious about may be the test results of the 2025 standardized test. I know later on the agenda, you have Dr. Lewis that will also be maybe also presenting test results. And so hopefully both presentations give you insight as to how we performed. So to begin, as the board and the community may be aware, Home Charter is a non-classroom based charter school. The school's instructional model is a fit for parents who seek flexibility, individualization, and greater independence with their children's educational journey. In this model, students are assigned a teacher who is responsible for meeting with the students and their designated mentor for a minimum of 1 hour a week in person. In our pre-K through 8th grade homeschool model, the parent designates themselves or a caregiver to act as that mentor. Essentially, this is the individual responsible for the daily instruction and support of the student. They are assigned to follow the instructional sequence, to complete all of the assignments, and to facilitate those learning opportunities at home. So when we do have that opportunity on a weekly basis for the support teacher to meet with the student and the mentor, essentially the protocol at those meetings is to, while supporting the student, we're also giving strategies and ideas to the parent so that they can follow up with those strategies at home. And so that is a very unique aspect of our program. For our high school independent study model, the attendance is also measured by completed time and assignments. And so unlike a comprehensive high school where students come to school every single day, in independent study high school, the students' attendance is measured by the assignments that they complete. And on our platform, which is Edgenuity, our teachers are able to track the time that students are logged in the system. And so that's how we keep track of the activity that the student is involved with, as well as the completed quizzes, assignments, and so forth. Here, it is also critical that there is a support structure at home that reminds our students of their schoolwork. In this independent study high school program, upon enrollment, we ensure that the students and the parents understand that the students are in the driver's seat of their education, meaning that they practice a commitment, they practice a discipline to invest that time at home to stay on track with all of their assignments. And so here in this slide, just a little bit more details about our independent study program. As I mentioned, attendance is measured by completion of assignment. Students are expected to meet with their provider 1 hour a week. Here, because we do sign an independent study contract, the students and the families and we as a school commit to providing support and interventions. And as we get into discussing the state results, I can assure you that this year we have had a greater emphasis in the participation. While voluntary, we strongly encourage students to come to all of our interventions, whether it's the math interventions that we hold every single day for 1 hour, or is the general tutoring services that we offer 3 times a week. And so, yes, it's voluntary to come, but with a strong recommendation of the teachers for all students, but in particular, those students that are a bit behind. So just to tell you a little bit more about the school model, currently we have 124 students enrolled in our pre-K through 8th grade homeschool program and 131 students in our 9th to 12th grade independent study. We have 14 teachers and 10 support staff, as well as support staff that provide educational or special education services. We have partnered with outside agencies to bring in speech therapy, for example, occupational therapy that we have for students. And so that is a partnership that we have. And so we ensure that we meet FAPE for all of the students that we register. A little bit more details, as I said, 255 students total. You will notice that the grades that have the most students are in the high school, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And what is interesting about our demographics is, as you'll see the last bullet here, is that 112 students this year, or 44% of our students, were enrolled for the first time. And that could be important because that is a measure of our mobility or our the number of students that we serve for the first time. That is an interesting statistic. We have 71 students, or 28% of our students are in an IEP. 21 students are considered English learner, or 21 or 8% of students are considered English learner. And then with greater increase, the number of low or the percentage of low socioeconomic students. So all of these are factors that we consider. Certainly, in the eyes of the staff, in the eyes of Principal Dermody and mine, they're not any obstacle for us to ensure that all students, regardless of background or demographic, receive the highest quality education, all of the supports that they need, and the expectation for their success. And so the demographics just tell one side of the story that we pay attention to, just to see who are the students that we are serving.
Can I just add to
Yes,
that?
Dr. Gunn.
The percent of special education students you are probably noticing is much higher than it has been in years gone by. Typically a district's the percent of special education students at the district or in any program is usually like 12% is about the average. So we are well above the average in the percentage of special ed students we're serving.
And that is correct, Dr. Gus. And as I've studied that percentage and those students in particular, it's a mix. I would say about half of them do come to us already with an IEP. And then the other half we identify once they're in the program. And so that tells us that upon enrollment, we need to ensure that we have all of the services to ensure that we have the number of hours that the student requires of their IEP and all of the services that they require. Turning to the test scores, here on the screen, you will see the 2024 state dashboard. Now, these are the results from 2 testing periods ago, the spring of 2024. In particular, you will notice that we were in red or orange in 5 of the 7 indicators. Those being, where's my pointer? Those being English learner progress, graduation rate, college and career, English language arts, and math. And so those were the results and a baseline for us to at least do some comparison to current test scores, which is these are the results or the dashboard for the administration of this past spring of 2025. And in this dashboard, you will notice that we only have 2 of the 7 indicators in orange with no indicators in red. And those being the English learner indicator, we moved from red in 2024 to yellow in 2025, making a 2-color jump. We also had a 2-color jump in graduation rate from orange to green. And specifically to language arts and math, we moved from orange to yellow in English language arts and from red to orange in math. All of the dashboard demonstrates progress in 6 to 7 indicators. The only indicator that moved from green in 2024 to orange in 2025 was chronic absenteeism. And I have some conclusions regarding that, and I'll get to that in a slide in a little bit. This next slide, we see a more detailed breakdown of our 2025 English language arts state results. As you see here, 31.77% of our students are at meet or exceeds, while 34.58% are not at met. Note that these results reflect our students in 6th through 11th grade for 2 reasons. First of all, the 11th graders take the CASP, and then secondly, we have a statistically insignificant result in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. There, however, we rely a lot more on our formative assessments, on our localized assessments to ensure that these students are making progress. At the end of January 9th, and this end of January 9th, we will have the end of the first semester. And so Principal Dermody looks forward to presenting those localized assessments at the next presentation so that you can also have some insight as to how we're performing there. In mathematics, I know this was the topic of greatest concern, continues to be. It continues to be an urgency for the school to address our math scores. And you will see that in 2025, 8.41% of our students in 6th through 11th grade met or exceeded the standard. Certainly while then the 61.68% did not. Here you will note that our 8th grade students, so if you look at these bars here on the right, you will know that 8th grade has the greatest salmon color, which represents the not met standard. While all of our students are area of focus, particularly 8th grade is our area of focus. Traditionally, these are the students that are transitioning into pre-algebra or algebra. And so we want to make sure that we have the support structures there. And going back to the whole idea of independent study and the mentor and the support structure at home, we want to make sure that those adults that are at home supporting the children have the knowledge awareness to be able to support these lessons at home. And certainly algebra is certainly a higher level of math. But nevertheless, we're taking those steps to ensure that we give attention from 8th grade to all students, but particularly in 8th grade, because that's what these results are showing us. Here now we have a comparison of the last 3 years. First and foremost with English language arts. In this comparison, we look for movement within proficiencies. So yes, we look at the total blue and the total green, but we also want to make sure that we're moving students from one proficiency to the next, hopefully making 2 to 3 proficiency leaps. But the realities is that we are moving one student or moving students from one proficiency in the next. I have read that movement from one proficiency to the next could be equatable to a grade level progress. So if we do have a student that, for example, is in high school but have a 6th or 7th grade, either reading level or math level and has not met standard, if we manage to move that student to the next proficiency, higher proficiency, that is a symbol for us, or that is an indicator for us that they've made that progress in 1 year. However, that's not enough. We want all of our students to be at met or exceeded proficiency. What you will see here is that what we look for is we want to make sure that we reduce the number of students in not met and then increased every other one. So if we take 2025, for example, or 2024, 25, you'll see that we had not met 42.98%. So what do we look for to measure that we've made progress? That the number in 2025 is smaller. So let's shift right over here. And yes, it is. We've managed to shrink the number of students in not met from 42 to 34. So that's a positive indicator. Then we look for the next colors that we're increasing those proficiencies. So here we have 27.91. Let's see if we increased it. Yes, we did, to 33.64. And then the same thing with the MET, increased it from 22 to 23, and then increased it here from 7 to 8. So while the work is not done, members of the board, I want to stress that the work is not done. We are underway with some of the interventions that we'll share with you in the next couple of slides. But at least on these reviews, we are headed in the positive direction. And as I sat here, you know, through your comments and through your concerns of our school, which are taken to ownership by all members of the staff, including myself, we wanted at least to demonstrate to you that we're making some progress as indicators that the implementations and interventions that we are making a positive impact. Here you have math. Same thing, we're looking to decrease the number here. So from 71, we decreased it to 61. That's a check mark. And then increase the other ones, 23 to 28, that was good. And then 3 to 6, that was good, we increased it. And then 1.74 to 1.8. Granted that with math, which is the area of focus, we only increased it by 3 percentage points approximately. No one's celebrating or having parades because of that. But nevertheless, again, it is a positive indicator that what we're doing is on the right track. We just need to intensify our interventions. And in a minute, you'll see here what our areas of focus are. But before getting to that, I want to tell you a little bit about engagement, as I mentioned before. Why is engagement or chronic absenteeism rate important? It is important because it is a measure of our school environment. Attendance, suspension, expulsion, all of those are elements that give you insight as to what are the supportive, inclusive, welcoming environment that we have at school. Are kids motivated to come to school? And this is an area of concern for us because as you've seen, in 2022, we were at 9.5%, 12.8% then in 2024, and then we did increase to 14.2%. Granted, some people can say, well, you're still well beyond the county average. That is great to know, but we're still concerned. And as I dug deeper into this number, going back to the number of students that we enrolled for the first time, we're recognizing that we're already intaking students who are on truancy abatement or has some chronic absenteeism factors and characteristics. Again, not an excuse, but we have to recognize that the intake of students already come to us with those needs. And so what are we doing to do that or to fight that, if you will, is that we're strengthening our re-engagement procedures. You may recall that not too long ago, you all approved for us a revised independent study policies. And in there, we were asked by the state, and you all supported with that policy to strengthen re-engagement. In other words, that we are not jumping to reactions of punitive effort or dismissing students, but rather we make every attempt, which includes home visits, includes meetings with the parents, includes other interventions. And so here you'll see that when we attempt these re-engagement procedures, we first want to make sure, are we communicating with the right people? Are they getting our messages? Are we updated telephone numbers, home addresses, and so forth? Then we communicate with the parent. I have since in the last 4 weeks have participated in numerous re-engagement meetings. I've come away with some observations of those re-engagement meetings, prepared to give Principal Dermody some feedback. And one of those observations is that the parents in the elementary K-12 area, they don't feel the weight of their role. In other words, in these re-engagement meetings, my observation that these parents have a traditional mindset where it's, oh, you're the teacher, I'm just here to support. And it's very important in those re-engagement meetings that we emphasize that we're all a team. Yes, we're here to support you. Yes, you can call us your teacher, absolutely. However, your role at home, because it's a homeschool program, is also to be a little bit more intense than just a bystander, right? And so that's been one of my observations that I like to share with Principal Dermody. What does that mean? Well, then we have to prepare these parents and these mentors to be quasi-teachers at home. So we're strengthening, as you'll see in our next steps, we're strengthening our mentor and support provider training, almost like having professional development sessions for these mentors, where what are best strategies to teach math? What are some fun activities that you can do at home to engage your child? What are some literacy strategies that you can do? How do you teach science? How do you teach social studies? And so that is an area that we wish to strengthen. Here also to point out with the re-engagement procedures is that we have numerous attempts. Every semester, our teachers engage in home visits. And so while we're at the home visiting of every single student, not only to check on the home environment and to do like a wellness check, if you will, we also want to make sure that we're supporting the family in designating those study spaces, asking about where is it where the magic happens? Where do you all sit to study, to do work, and then giving advice or tips around that. And so these engagement procedures just continue to get stronger. But my walk away from being part of these meetings is that we need to reshape that expectation with the parents or or the provider. In most cases, it's the parent that signs up as the mentor. Occasionally, it's a grandparent, another loved one, a family member, but in most cases, it is the parent. So what are the key initiatives? And this is inventory of what we've done this year. Again, it's not the end. These are, I can safely say that these are in progress and we've implemented these. We need to study these further to come to a conclusive decision whether these have had impact. We suspect they've had impact on our test scores, but nevertheless, we are continuing with the implementation of our intervention math classes. These have been such a hit with students, particularly in the high school levels, because you enter, now it's all integrated math. I think you're all aware that now we don't have like algebra or geometry or trigonometry. It's all integrated math. And that presents a challenge in itself because you have literacy skills now embedded into math. And so our intervention classes are focused on that. We have a tutoring center for teachers, and there's a teacher that specializes in language arts, one in math, one in social studies, and one in science. So these 4 teachers are at our tutoring center every single day from 11 to 12. You're all welcome to visit those if you'd like. And our students come. We have about 30 student average participation here in our tutoring services. So we're really proud of that. Again, we can continue to reinforce it. We have a daily virtual connection. This is not to substitute the in-person, one-on-one, face-to-face interaction. We just wanted another platform, given that we do have students in South County and transportation could be a challenge. So we just wanted another offering, another platform, another opportunity for students to connect with us should they need us. And then at any point, our teachers are a text away, a phone call away, a Zoom away from daily connection with our students. And then these are the 2 that I was mentioning, particularly this 4th bullet, implementation of parent and academic mentor workshops. When we come back on Monday, January 5th. That week, I've offered at the school, it seems to have a little popularity, to be able to do a workshop on student motivation. We think that that's an important kickoff so that students understand that, yes, you're in the driver's seat of your education. And what does that mean, right? How do you set a schedule? How do you set certain expectations for yourself to make sure that you're on track with our school? And then after that, we do want to work on strengthening. Like, again, I'm seeing it really like a professional development around the core subjects for our mentors and parents, because they are the teachers at home. Like we say, they're the first teachers, right? And then continued reinforcement of our re-engagement meetings. So what's on the horizon for us as pilots, and I'm waiting for Principal Dermody to return so we could have this good conversation. We are also noticing with some of our high school students that they're credit deficient. This is interesting for those of you that have been here on the board for a while, may recall this charter school. Essentially, I remember when some of our student body were like ambassadors' children, or they were some pre-Olympic kids that were in our school, just kids that came to us, not with the heightened academic needs that they had, but more so because of the flexibility of the school structure. Now we are seeing students, and honestly to say that after the pandemic, we are seeing students with greater needs. And part of those greater needs is that we have a 16, 17-year-old sophomore in high school who comes to us and said, I only completed a 1 semester, my 9th grade year. So not only do I need to play catch up of this school year, I also have 25 credits to make up for my prior year, right? And so we need to be prepared for an intervention that addresses that need. Thus, us looking at a credit recovery program, Edgenuity, which is the platform that we have, it's the same with Alt Ed, gives us an opportunity to do credit recovery with students. Yes, we do look at, while not many of our open door charter students qualify for this, you may also know that there is a credit waiver opportunity for migrant students, students that have been adjudicated, students that are homeless or foster. Not many of our students qualify for that in home charter, but nevertheless, it's a tool that we have in our tool belt. And so we are looking forward to possibly pilot a credit recovery program for our students. And then, like I said, I have to stress it, that the mentor support we provide for these teachers at home is gonna be very critical. So this is a report we have for you. I'd be happy to take any questions you have. Again, want to emphasize that the work is not done. And I can also assure you, in the 4 weeks that I've been there, that we have such committed staff across the board, from the office staff to the support to our teachers. They are fully committed and understand the urgency that's in front of us. And so with that, I welcome your questions and I appreciate your time.
Questions or comments?
I have a question.
Okay, Mary first.
I just have one. I'm not even gonna talk about the percentages, because 8.41% for math, we all know that that's unacceptable. But my question is, you're talking about a lot about engagement in those initiatives to increase the engagement of how you interact with the parents and the students, I assume. But do you really think it's an engagement issue versus a process and teaching method issue? Are the students just not understanding how to do the math? Or is it they're just not engaged enough in order to learn the process?
Trustee Claypool, I think it's both. And I'll speak from just a re-engagement meeting that I had yesterday. So engagement is motivation, right? Engagement is, am I motivated enough? Do I feel confident enough to progress in my academic journey? That's the question we ask the students. So to your question, I think they both go together. When a student experiences frustration where they don't have the skills to complete an assignment, for example, in an independent study program, and we acknowledge this, and this is one of the elements of an independent study program, where you don't have a teacher there to say, okay, we're moving on, or let's look at this strategy. The student is more prone to lose that motivation, close the book, or close the tablet, close the Chromebook, and say, I'm not going to engage. And so I think it goes hand in hand. What we want to do, and what it's important for us to do, is we give sufficient opportunity so that before that student closes the laptop, he knows, I'm gonna jump on a Zoom, or tomorrow I'm gonna go to the therapy section, or I'm gonna lean on my provider here at home, my mom, my dad, my brother, whoever it is. We want to encourage students to have those go-tos before they say, now I'm giving up, right? And so to your question, I think it goes hand in hand. You're right. I think the independent study model requires a certain characteristic of a student. Not all students could be successful in that platform. And so that is why when we do the enrollment of students and we sign the independent study contract, we want to ensure that all parties understand what we're getting into. The student, we are not in a position to discourage anyone from enrolling in our school. That we're not in that position. We welcome all students and we want to do our best to support all students. That is our goal. We're not there to say, sorry, you can't be in our school. That we're a public school, so we don't have that right. And nor we would even exercise it, because we want to help all students that want to come to us. But once they're in the program and we're starting to see this trepidation, this lack of engagement that we see via the number of assignments completed, that's when we immediately want to do interventions. And as I'm studying all of this, I think it's more prevention than intervention, right? Because the moment we see a student not completing an assignment, or in the average of the 20 hours a week that they have to report, if you see a student fall short of that, immediately we should be acting, not waiting until 20 hours, 10 hours, 2 hours. We need to be a little bit more proactive. So it's a combination of both things, Ms. Claypool. Thank you for your question.
My question to you will be, while the students is taking the 4 minimum hours on academics, are they allowed to do credits recuperation in the same time? Or they do it after the 4 hours?
Yes, so the 4 hours, well, first of all, as an independent study program, we have to weigh assignment to time, because that's how we report our attendance. And most independent study programs weigh a daily instructional day in independent study as a 4-hour period. So 4 times 5, that's the 20 hours a week that students should be reporting. That is the formula where we base full-time employment, or in other words, taking the 5 to 6 classes that they require. If student has to catch up, I would say that it's above and beyond the 4 hours that they're submitting. For example, back to this example yesterday of this re-engagement, we shared with the student, you're almost there. The semester's going to end on January 9th. Right now, you're failing a course, but if you commit to working the 3 weeks of the winter break, you can catch up. So we're not taking attendance for that, but that is makeup assignments that the student is doing. So to answer your question, anything that's credit, recovery, or catch up would be above the 4 hours a day, 20 hours a week. The other thing we're clarifying with our students is that many of them say or think, oh, I have to report these 4 hours between 8 to 3 p.m. No, the beauty of Edgenuity is that you can log in. If you're an early riser, you can log in at 6, 7 in the morning. If you're late, you stay up late, you can log in at 8, 9 o'clock at night. If you're a weekend person, you can log in on Saturdays and Sundays. And so we're amplifying our expectation of, yes, it's 4 hours a day, 20 hours in a 5-day week, but essentially you have Saturday and Sunday. If that's who you are. We do have a small percentage, I'd say less than 10% of our high school students work, very few of them, but many of them do have home responsibilities, either taking care of siblings or other responsibilities at home. And so, yes, so it would be above and beyond if they need to play catch up.
Thank you, Mr. Vela.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
We're on item 8.6, first reading of proposed changes to board policy 0410, non-discrimination in programs and activities. Page 257, Dr. Forrest.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. These few that you're looking at, I just want to preface, as we have the last time around, they're all the changes are based on changes in law that came our way, whether it's federal mandates or local. So I just want to preface that by saying that's where the changes have come from in these particular policies. This first one, board policy 0410, is in response to federal guidelines in regards to making sure that we're expanding the definition of discrimination by anti-discrimination regarding combination of protected classes. So it's just a refinement of what we already had in place in terms of protection of federal protected classes. It's just increasing that definition. So nothing really crazy, just a few lines that were changed to make sure that modification was happening. And that's in regards to the Office of Civil Rights guidelines.
Any questions? All right, thank you. 8.7, first reading of proposed changes to board policy 5141.5, mental health, page
Great.
261.
This is in response to a Senate bill that came our way from 2024, and the implementation dates that are required in this revision include the years 2029 and then 2026, January 31. So that one's coming up pretty soon. But they're projecting forward for school districts to make sure that there's a percentage of employees that have that work with students in grades 7 through 12 inclusive, have completed training in regards to youth behavioral mental health. And that's in both in the classroom and then working with counselors that work with students outside the classroom, and making sure that school districts have adopted within their policies specific guidelines to making sure they understand what behavioral mental health concerns look like and how they'll be addressing those. And then also, if you read further into the policy, requiring that we make sure we have training annually for our staff that work with students 7 through 12 in regards to cultural competency, and making sure that we're doing all the trainings that we require through Keenan in these areas. And the rest of it is pretty straightforward. I just wanted to highlight those were the areas of change.
Any questions? All right, thank you. 8.8, first reading of proposed changes to board policy 6141.2, recognition of religious beliefs and customs, page 26.
Thank you, Madam President. This policy is in direct response to the recent court decision we've talked about in the past, Mahmoud versus Taylor. And this is the allowing parents to have an opt-out in regards to curriculum that is related to LGBTQ in terms of the storybooks in the classrooms. And this is the right for parents to opt out if they would choose to do so. And I think just one piece that's important in this policy also is that it's requiring schools to make sure that they are providing an alternate activity of equal value or concern to students versus just sitting it out that is perceived to be a penalty or a discipline issue. So again, this is in response to case law that we needed to put in policy.
Thank you. Any questions on that one? All right, thank you so much. We are on to 9, reports from superintendent and or staff. So 9.1 is our superintendent's report. Dr. Gus.
Yes, thank you. I'll be very quick. First, let me just pass down my report about all the events that I've attended up to December 17th. I also want to share with all of you that Dr. Vela and his community schools team did an amazing conference on November 18th. He partnered with the school districts, community school liaisons, and Bright Futures, which is a Cradle to Career initiative in our county. And at that community schools symposium, all of the districts who have community schools, and you can see their logos right on the front of this lovely document that I'm going to pass out in just a moment. They all had the opportunity to share with all of the community partners and agencies in our county who were interested in attending what their needs assessment results identified as the top needs in their districts. And then they had an opportunity to engage with all of those community partners and nonprofits to say, if you offer services that match with the needs that were identified, we'd love to talk with you. We'd love to engage. And this was in response to a lot of the community-based organizations basically stating that they think community schools are great, but they just didn't know how to insert themselves into the schools to better support the students and the families. And so this really, it was kind of like speed dating in a way, but made great connections. And I brought this wonderful document that they all received that day, and I thought you would be interested in because it shows you in the county where the community schools exist. It shows each district's like summarized needs and information about each of these districts that have community schools. So I thought you might be interested in this. You can take it home, take a look later. If you have any questions, please reach out to Dr. Vela. But just, I thought this was such a great resource. I wanted to share it with all of you and really give commendations to Dr. Vela and his community school team. It's awesome. Thank you. And then I also wanted to let you all know that our legal counsel for charter schools is Ed Sklar. He works for Lozano Smith. He will not be in attendance at the meeting tonight, but he will be at your January 14th board meeting when you have the responsibility to make the decision about this charter school petition before you. He did have these recommendations that he would like you to keep in mind for tonight. These 2 things. He said during this process, the public hearing that's going to happen tonight at 5:30, it's important that board members remain as impartial decision makers, not advocates for or against the charter school. If there are questions for the petitioners, meaning navigator petitioners, it would be more efficient to do that after the district staff report is published. And that staff report is going to be published December
29th.
29th. As that would provide context about any concerns, if any, raised by staff. And we also wanted to remind everyone that you received an email asking if you would like to have training from Ed Sklar prior to that January 14th meeting. So we have a training set up for January 7th There'll be one in the morning, one early afternoon, and one late afternoon. I've already heard from Annette and Jaime that they would like to attend, and they gave me their time that works best for them. If you are interested in attending that training, it's gonna be 3 people at most in each of the 3 trainings, so that you will have the opportunity to have the time you need to ask the questions that you may have. And some of you have more experience with these matters than others. And so we want to make sure that those that are very new to the process have all the time you need with legal counsel to make sure you have a good understanding of what your role is and how the process works. So if you haven't notified me as to when you would like to attend the training, please do so.
What time are the trainings?
We're waiting. We know one's in the morning, one's early afternoon, one's late afternoon. What you have been, 2 people responded, you and Annette, you let me know you wanted morning and you were available between this time and this time. So as soon as I hear that from all the board members who want to attend the training, then we can finalize the exact time. So if you haven't responded, please let me know. Please do so today if you can, so we can get that finalized and I can give you the exact times. Let's see.
Yeah,
Question?
put me down.
Okay, morning or
Afternoon,
early afternoon, early or late afternoon?
either,
Okay. very
not
good.
morning.
Okay, very good.
I would like to do later afternoon, but I can be flexible with what space it goes in.
Thank you.
7th,
Oh, so.
7th, right?
Yes,
January 7th.
And I also want to share the board calendar, so please take a look. If there's any items on the board calendar that you would like to attend, please don't hesitate to let me know. You want to get you registered for anything you want to attend. And the last thing, I'm sorry, I wanted to also mention is that at our January 14th board meeting, and remember, it starts at 3, so from 3 to 5, it's our regular business. The charter school public hearing does not start until 5. So
Are we
at
gonna
3,
move from here to there, or are we gonna do it all there?
I think we're gonna do it all there
Okay.
because it'll be set up and ready.
Yeah.
And we need microphones.
Yep, makes sense.
The other thing I wanted to mention is at that meeting at, I think 3:15, we will be presenting our resolution that you approved today to Bruce Taylor.
Mhm.
This is the resolution thanking him and honoring him for his contribution to the science of reading. Yes, so he will be coming to that meeting. We're not going to give him the golden bell, but we made him a plaque with a bell, a golden bell. We thought that might be more appropriate for his office. And so we will present that plaque and that resolution to Mr. Taylor at that meeting.
What meeting was that? Is that?
January 14th, at your regular board meeting on January 14th. Yeah, and after we make that presentation, what we'd like to do is take a picture with all the board members, with Mr. Taylor, and we'll have a little small celebration meeting. We'll take a break after that, have a little bit of cake, and then back to the meeting.
For the January 7th meeting, that's in person only, right?
No, January 7th is, we offered in person or Zoom. And so, because it's a training, it's not a meeting, which means we do not have to follow the Zoom laws because it's not a meeting. The training, three or less each session. Yeah, so if you want to come in person, you can come in person, but if you want to Zoom, you just let me know. And both Jaime and Annette thus far let me know Zoom worked best for them.
Zoom for me.
Zoom for you? Zoom for
Yeah.
you? Yes.
What time is it? We don't know yet.
We don't know.
No, you just need to let me know if you want morning, early afternoon, or late afternoon, and then I can finalize the exact time with Ed. You want early afternoon, Mary? Okay, great. And so can I, since I'm only waiting then on 2 more people, Sandra and Virginia, would you like to also attend that training on January 7th? And would you like early afternoon or late afternoon?
So you have a
Either
date,
or.
you don't have that time.
Right. But I will finalize that time with you. As soon as I hear from both of you, then we can nail it down. Was that a yes that you both want to attend?
What are you here?
So
January 7th.
I think I'll be on person instead of Zooming. Person meeting is better for me.
Okay.
Early morning will be better for
Can
me
you say
to
on
change an
person?
appointment.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, then we'll get back to Ed today. He'll then fine tune, nail it down, the exact times, and we'll email you this afternoon.
But the time is still to be decided, right?
Right. The exact hours, yes.
All right, thank you, Dr. Gus. We're on to 9.2 staff reports, 9.2.1 early learning program monthly report for October 2025. Page 277. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Bella on that report? All right, thank you. 9.2.2, 2025 California School Dashboard, State and Local Measures. Dr. Lewis, come on up, page 299 in your agenda.
excellent tie. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam President, Superintendent Gus, Board Trustees. We are excited to be here with you and just share a little bit of information about our 2025 California School Dashboard and its recent release. One of the things we'll just start out by sharing with you, first of all, is I have David Dabrowski here with me. You may have met David before. He's our Director of Data, Research, and Partnerships. So we'll be sharing and going back and forth. We're also going to be sharing our screen in case you have any questions and we can get to specific areas. So just a little bit different. California School Dashboard is the most public and transparent data tool that we have in the state of California to help inform the community and education partners on how our schools, how our LEAs across the state are performing in different areas. It really is a macro level tool, meaning that the data is at a very high level, doesn't take that down to a student level. And I also like to always kind of preface the presentation by sharing that, remember that these results are from spring of last year, but it is very useful in terms of looking at systems. So as a broader data and information tool, it's really helpful when we're looking at systems and we're
Spring of
trying.
which year?
Spring of this past year.
Which past year?
So 2025,
Okay, so we're still in
spring
2025.
still in 2025, but in the past school year, I'm so sorry. We always say that we celebrate the new year twice too. So we're about to celebrate the new year again, but for us, the school year is another new year. But in this past spring, 2025 is when students would have, where a lot of the results from the dashboard will have been accumulated from. So David is going to talk about a little bit of the technical aspects of the dashboard and some of the things that we're working through. And then we're also going to answer some questions about how that dashboard relates to some of the services that we provide.
So on the school dashboard, there, I'm gonna jump ahead for a second. So the school dashboard is released for every district and every school in California, as well as California as a whole. It covers 7 main indicators that are used. All of them will receive a color on the dashboard, as well as 5 local indicators. There are no county level dashboards, so you won't be seeing a Monterey County dashboard today. But we did compile some things to look at the county as a whole for your interests. In addition to the districts and the schools receiving a color in the dashboard, all the student groups within that school will receive colors if they have enough students. In most cases, this is 30 students. And so all those appear on the dashboard publicly for everyone to look at. In addition, there's some additional information for information purposes, such as the new science indicators there. There's some growth measures. Some of the student groups might not have enough students to have a color, but they're still represented as to what their rates are if they have more than 10 students to accommodate privacy concerns. So all that's on the dashboard. We're going to look at how a color is derived. And so with this example of suspensions, every district, it'll state the current rate or the status. So in this case, 3.7% of students were suspended one day during the school year. And then the change from the prior year, in this case, declined 1.4%. And so we find the 3.7%, and it's between the thresholds that the California Department of Education set. So in this case, 3.7 is between the 2.6 and the 4.5%. And so we see we're in the medium row for this district. And then it looks at how did it change from the 2024 school year into the 2025 school year. In this case, it declined, which is good for suspensions. You want fewer students suspended. And this is, so declined is positive. It's in that fourth column. And then you can see where they intersect. The status and change is green in this case. And so it'll show up as green on the dashboard for that. In this case, it's a district, but the same is true for student groups or for schools. And that shows up overall on the dashboard. So this is a graph that is pulling from all the student groups and all the districts in Monterey County and looking at it over 3 different years. So blue is 2023, orange 2024, green 2025. And you can see in this time frame, if we compile all the different colors from the student groups at the districts, we have fewer reds showing up in the dashboard in Monterey County year after year, which is great news. Additionally, you see that the green and the blue on this chart are increasing. So we're having more student groups and districts in the top levels of the scale. Very positive news for the past 3 years. If we disaggregate this just a little bit more, instead of looking at all the different indicators all at once, like we did on the last chart, we look at them independently. You can see what is the change over 3 years for the different indicators that are on the dashboard. So for example, I want to pull out a couple of things to bring to your attention. One of which is chronic absenteeism. I know Dr. Bella talked about this a little bit from the charter earlier. We did see a drop initially in the number of reds and then an increase in this past year in the number of reds for chronic absenteeism, seeing this statewide as well. Looking at ELA, we're seeing that there are fewer reds showing up in the dashboard and more of the yellow color showing up for the various student groups. Graduation, we saw a lot of success. It has increased year over year quite a bit. We actually have in the 24-25 school year has the highest graduation rate for Monterey County since they've been using the new methodology for about 10 years, looking at 4-year cohort. That was at 91%. Similarly, suspensions, we're seeing an increase of the number of greens that are happening. So there are fewer students that are being suspended in our districts, which is great news. Want to draw your attention to a couple of things that are in your packet that we provided. So first, there's a couple of handouts that are provided by the state to talk about what data and information goes into each of the individual indicators. I'm also happy to answer any questions about that as well, but thought that might be beneficial for you. And then there's more detailed information that includes like a summary of all the student groups and the indicators for Monterey County as a whole, as well as 3-year trends for each of the indicators for each of the student groups. In addition, the different school programs at MCOE and the charter schools authorized by your board have the dashboard summaries that are in there as well for you to look at.
Great. Thank you, David. I'll pause just for a minute to see if there are any questions related just to some of the technical aspects of the data or any of the handouts that you received. Any questions so far? Okay, wonderful. One of the other things that we always point out to you around this time of the year as the dashboard releases is how the dashboard helps to inform eligibility for our local schools and districts in terms of additional support and assistance around some of the key areas that David had mentioned. So he was talking about some of the areas where we're seeing some really wonderful growth. And then we know there are some areas with specific student groups where we're seeing that there's a greater need. So we're showing kind of that view over time of looking at how some of our LEAs have been been eligible and then possibly exited that eligibility status and may or may not become eligible again. And that's not uncommon because it can be for a different student group. So where they may have been eligible for a specific student group in a key area or a key indicator, they may have built incredible systems around that area and they really have that moving forward in a positive way. And another area of the system shows that it might have some additional need. This is not a negative thing. This is just an opportunity for us to all really look at how we provide some additional supports. So this year, in terms of newly qualifying districts here locally in our Salinas area, you'll see LSL Union, Salinas City, and also Salinas Union school districts that are eligible for that additional support. And then moving into South County, Gonzales, Soledad, and South Monterey County that also are eligible. We are excited. We have wonderful partnerships with all of these schools and districts. They are actively working toward progress in these areas within their own teams. And our role is to really come alongside them, work as thought partners, provide additional resources, support, data, technical assistance, just to be able to be a support to them along the way. This is a more detailed look at that, and we wanted to provide you with this so that you would have a better understanding. And you'll see in the first top half of the chart, all the way through South Monterey County, those are the districts that are newly eligible. So this, as a result of this year's dashboard, they are eligible for assistance, and that assistance will carry over the course of 2 years. On the lower part of the chart, it shows assistance that Monterey County Office of Education is eligible for. That is provided by the California Department of Education and other state resource agencies. And then also at the lower end of the chart, you'll see districts that are no longer eligible according to this year's dashboard, but we're still working with them and finalizing their second year of support because they were eligible in that year prior. And so this just, along with some of the other tools that David provided to you today, helps you see where that assistance is being provided to some of our schools and districts across the county. And we're happy to answer any questions that you may have about the technical assistance as well. Questions?
What's LTEL?
Long-term English learners, so English learners who have enrolled at least 7 years in California public schools.
Great question, and please ask us about any acronyms because
Sorry
we know
the
about
acronyms,
acronym soup.
I was guessing, but I guessed right.
Okay, thank you. Well, if there are no further questions, thank you for the opportunity. And if anything else comes up that you'd like to know about, we're happy to help and assist and provide you with resources that you may need.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
We are going to move back to item 6.3, determination of the Monterey County Board of Education nomination for the Monterey County School Boards Association 2026 Excellent in Educations Award. We tallied up the votes and our number 1 choice is the Bob Hoover Academy. Our number 2 is the Human Trafficking Task Force. And number 3 is the Read to Me project. Read to Me project. Recommendation of the board. So we don't, that was our vote. So we're done with that one. All right, thank you so much. We're on to item 10, comments by members of the board. 10.1, do we have any board member comments?
I got a quick comment. We all got the communications from the petitioners regarding Spreckles and Washington Union. The one response that I think I want to put on the record is their assertion that I had a conflict of interest because I live in the area. That's not how that works. I did not have a material, meaning financial interest. I'm not paid by either school district. I would have loved to have stayed home that night. But the conflict of interest laws are very narrow because as elected officials, the expectation is that we will vote on hard things. And so I just wanted to make sure that that was put on the record.
All right, thank you, John. Yes.
Jane, on the same topic, I wanna say that his comment didn't change my mind on my vote today. I can make my
You
decision
speak
before-
directly on the microphone so I can
Yeah,
hear you.
I didn't hear what you said either.
I said that before he made his comment, I had already made my mind how I was going to vote. So because they say that his comments make us make a decision, it was not my case.
Thank you. Any other comments by board members?
Just to kind of saying those emails were kind of sarcastically targeted to the whole board. I understand the petitioners are really moving forward regardless. But at any given point, even though trustee McPherson really spoke her mind and took his mindset and what he has to say. But specifically, according to me, just seeing and hearing and reading, I made up my mind. And the way I voted it was not in any control of any fellow board members. It was my solo opinion. And I do feel like kind of a sad or concerned about how they disrespect the board's decision. That's all.
Thank you. Any other board member comments? All right, Cindy's keeping me on track and says that we actually have to vote on the Bob Hoover Academy Human Trafficking Task Force and the Read to Me project.
I move that we adopt as you just stated.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, can we get a roll call vote?
Heather Owen,
Aye.
Annette Eastet,
Aye.
John McPherson.
Aye.
Virginia Mendoza,
Aye.
Jaime Fernandez.
Aye.
Mary Claypool.
Aye.
Sandra Acampo.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.
I have a question, if I may.
Sure.
Bob Hoover Academy, I mean, it just seems like it's always gonna be supported, no matter what, right? I'm just wondering if we have to include them on this list in order to do that, right? Because we're always gonna support them. Could we just take them out so we can include somebody else in there? And because I would have went 1, 2, 3 was the two, and then somebody else and say, I know Bob Hoover's was gonna get our support anyway. We have to.
It's not about the board supporting them or not. This is the School Boards Association. Annually, they give an award to one nonprofit across the county. And so every district is gonna put one nonprofit forward and you get to give one nonprofit's name forward. And then the whole School Boards Association decides, I'm sorry, not the whole School Boards Association, the Executive Council of School Boards Association. They look at all the nominations that come in and they make the final decision. So it's not about this board supporting them or not. It's about if you think they should win the Education in Excellence Award this year.
Okay. But it goes back to what I just said. It's always gonna be Bob Hoover.
No, it's not ever been Bob Hoover before.
No.
You voted for different organizations every year.
This is the first time I remember voting for Bob Hoover.
Okay.
Let's wait and see. I mean.
And it still may not be
No,
the
I
one.
get that.
Yeah.
It's still, yes.
Yeah, Bob Hoover got 9 points. The Human Trafficking Task Force got 6 points and the Read to Me Project got 5 points from all of your votes.
Yeah.
But it's never been the recommended nonprofit from this board in the past.
All right, we are gonna move on to 10.2, reports from board members on the California School Boards Association County Board Conference, September 5 through 7.
We read them.
We read the reports.
Yes.
Okay, does anybody else want to make comments? September, oh, that's September. The one, I'd like to say something about the September conference. I did go to the Placer County Legislative Advocacy session. And they have a very organized way for the board and the superintendent to advocate for education issues. That's, I know we do a lot of advocating, but they have a very structured system, which was interesting to me.
Placer?
It's Placer County Legislative Advocacy. And they work very closely with Capital Advisors to come up with what items they're going to support. I just found that interesting and different than how we do it here.
Dr. Gus, do we have a standing contract with Capital Advisors?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so if we wanted to get their input on that, we could do that as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. The Capital Advisors, they send us all the legislative updates every year, all bills that have passed. They also will help us write advocacy letters. They've done that for us in the past, yes.
All right, thank you. Any other reports for the September conference? Okay, 10.3, reports from board members on the
Oh, wait.
Oh, sorry, Annette.
Heather,
Yes.
I submitted a report in writing with my notes from that conference. And I will just point out, I also went to that advocacy one and I thought that was a good one as well. But I also wanted to say that I went to a charter school, one of the breakouts, and what that reinforced for me was that that our process in our county seems to be at least as good at, and I can't recall what county it was that reported, but it really is hats off to Dr. Gus, Michelle Archuleta, and that whole team that does that. I think that's important, when we go to these professional development things, learning that we're doing it maybe even better is great. So I just wanted to put that shout out to our staff.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to 10.3, reports from board members on the 2025 California School Boards Association Annual Education Conference, December 3rd through 5th. I know I got written reports from a few. Anybody want to make oral comments on that?
I just really quickly on my written report, two things, points of emphasis. The interdistrict transfer appeals. We left there with a question about the length of time that a appeal that we upheld is valid for. And you were gonna check with, you're checking?
I'm checking.
Okay.
I gave the question to Lou Lozano.
Okay.
And he's gonna get back to me.
Okay, great, because it looks like we're gonna have lots of interdistrict transfers coming next year from this, the Washington Union School District. I would put a dollar bill on the table right now and bet that we're gonna have a lot. So that one's gonna be very important. And then on the back, the last one I went to just really quickly, I went to this session on asset management strategies. This is for excess property. And there's basically two ways the school district can handle excess property. They can either say that all of it, the property itself, is surplus. And if you declare that, you have to go through what's called a 7-Eleven committee. It's not associated with 7-Eleven that we all know. So you have to go through a process, and that will make that committee makes a recommendation to the board. And if the board adopts that recommendation, you can either sell it or you can lease the property. If you sell the property, the proceeds can only be used for facilities, construction, and maintenance going forward. You can't use it for just anything you want. If you lease it, it can be used for anything you want. So you could pay teacher salaries, you could do whatever you want if you were to lease the property. But there's another option where you basically, what do they call it? An occupation agreement with a third party, a developer. So you could take, if you continue to use part of that that property for your LEA uses, whether it be a park or a classroom or whatever, you can lease the rest of it to a developer and they can build housing, because this is going all over Southern California. You don't have to go through the longer process. And you can use that money for anything that you want, paying teacher salaries or whatever. So there are a bunch of small districts in Southern California which are doing that. They're keeping some portion of the property. They're leasing the rest of it to a developer. They're taking those funds and they're paying teacher salaries and all sorts of things. So I thought that was pretty interesting and something to keep in mind.
Thank you.
It's all for me.
All right, anybody else have a comment on that? Yes, Virginia.
I have to say that CSBA shall give us the information of these trainings ahead of time, because I had a hard time with the hotel this time. It was a nightmare. I even had to miss some of the meetings because I was looking for a place to move from one hotel to another hotel. So and that all this has to do that that frame time that they give us for the training, by the time we go, the hotels are booked already. So like for the one in San Diego, I see how Cindy and Denise had to spend so much time on the phone trying to get a hotel room. So, and I think it has to do with the fact that they just let us know like a few months ahead of time, and still enough time for us to make that reservation. And not just to make the reservation, but to plan ahead of time, because for the ones that retired, great, but for me that are still working, sometimes it's really hard to organize my timing and had to move a lot of things around to be able to attend one of these conference or any conference. So I think I noticed that with with CSBA, that they don't give us enough time notice when they are putting these trainings together or conferences. Except the one for Washington, I think that's the only one.
Any other comments on that? Yes, Sandra?
Just a small comment. I believe that the early bird registration, to attend CSBA conferences, they open up, I believe in June, and correct me, Cindy, if I'm wrong. So I would love to see if it is possible that our next training in CSBA, it could be done within one hotel. So we can, all the 7 board members and the superintendent can join hands together and be in the same hotel. I just felt like there were some of us in different hotels and struggling. And from another information that I picked up from another district is like, when they open registration, is like a lottery system. And they rotate the lottery system and give the best hotels available to first come, first served. And then if you don't get it on time, then you end up having problems housing, us in a different hotel.
May I say
So,
something?
Yes, please.
They notified us ahead of time the date that the registration would be open. You have to do the hotel along with your registration in the system, the way that it works, and it's a group flow. They indicated to us that at 8 a.m. on this particular morning, registration would be open. I clicked on the button, 8 a.m., and I was number 30 in line. By the time they got to me, for whatever reason, every single hotel was sold out.
Oh my goodness.
That was at 8 a.m. on the very morning that they gave us the link to do it. The problem is with the hotels in the area. We always try to do it immediately, but we're not successful, and it's a very stressful thing for me, to be honest with you. I have PTSD over it.
I believe it.
It's very difficult.
Can I,
Yes, John.
so, this is the first time they went into Sacramento. I think they got an issue with Sacramento.
Yeah.
There's just the Hyatt's not big enough. The Sheraton's not big enough. And so and they reserve the main hotels primarily for the presenters and for all of the delegates and all those people. Going back to San Diego next year, which they have a lot of experience with, I hope it's not the same.
Where
this
was
year.
it last year, John?
Well, last year was in Anaheim.
It was very difficult.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, so going to these, they had kind of San Francisco and San Diego dialed in, hopefully, I don't know, maybe they're getting a lot more people to come or whatever. So, but I sympathize.
Yes.
Thank you, I tried.
Thank you for your
I'm
effort.
just thinking that it's so crazy that we had to face this. I'm talking for myself. It was crazy for me to see that an organization as big as CSBA had to face this problem. And if they want their main people to be in the main hotel, it's okay. But to let us know ahead of time so we can find a place that by the time we go there, we know where we are going. And that's what I say, let us know ahead of time. And why to wait when they open registration for us to get a hotel? Why not to get that hotel a year ahead of time? If you know where the place is?
That was 6 months ahead.
Yeah.
Well, looks like it's not enough because it's all California. The other thing is, I give you an example, what the conference that I go every year in May, the one that I'm on the phone for the meeting. The day I leave that place, my hotel and my reservation is paid, so I don't have to worry about it. So they know ahead of time, they make all these arrangements for us. And I think CSBA can do the same thing. They have the power to do it. So we don't have to go through this nightmare. Or you don't have to be on the phone for 3, 4, 5 hours, just trying to get a hotel room.
Jaime, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I had a great time in Sacramento. I had to ride the bus every day to and from and in between, and quite a distance. But I had some great conversations with the bus drivers. Because it was just them and I. I was the only one at this hotel from our group anyway, and not a whole lot of other folks that were going to the conference were at this hotel. So every morning and every afternoon, it was me and the bus driver. And we had some seriously great conversations about homelessness, about sports, about life, about travels. Wherever it was you put me, thank you for that. Because honestly, my conversations with the bus drivers, it was worth the trip.
Yes.
This is a question to Cindy. If some of us with a call card can set their own hotel, is that okay with you?
The problem with that would be the cost would be more. There would be a difference in the cost for the room. The block is a lower rate.
I'm asking that because somebody asked me if it was okay to do it. So this is why I'm directing it to you.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm putting the spot.
No, but as Cindy said, it will cost more. And so what decision would we make about that? If you go through the block and it's 120 and you do it on your own and it's $200, then.
Yeah.
Are we required to pay that difference?
Well, that would be my
That's us.
question. Is that your choice?
Yes, the
Yes.
question.
I got a hotel on the spot, and it was cheaper than the regular price. So I don't know, it was the same price. I don't know how much it was paid for people that stay there. But to me, for a Hyatt, it wasn't that high because I have paid more in the past. So
Again, it would be the comparison between the two rates.
yeah, but at the end, by not having the proper reservation, it might be ending paying more because I'm right there. And like I said, I'd rather sleep in my car than sleep at the hotel I was assigned to, just to see the place. So I think we gotta talk to, or someone has to talk to CSBA and talk to them so they can give us, I don't know, more time or improve the system to get, for everybody to get a hotel.
They have a review, like a feedback form,
I feel it up.
so you can give them that, give that. So
I did.
Okay, give them that
Yeah,
feedback.
but by government, they might throw it away, but if it comes from a board or from the mean, I don't know, they might pay more attention.
Yeah, Jaime?
So everything else aside, I thought the conference was very good. You had some very good sessions, pretty well done.
Yeah.
For whatever that's worth.
Yes. The inter-district transfer session that we went to, I felt was very valuable because I heard also from North Monterey County School District that they're changing their inter-district transfer policy. So, we might be seeing a lot. We didn't have any inter-district transfers from North Monterey County this year before us. And it might be coming because they're changing their policy
We're
also.
going to be seeing some from San Antonio and our quite a bit.
Yeah.
Policy changing.
Yeah, everyone's now fighting the same fight with declining enrollment. That's exactly what the whole transfer issue was with Spreckles and Washington Union. And well, I think we're gonna get a lot of transfers from there.
Yeah.
Or appeals from there.
The other thing I wanted to mention about the conference was the Foster Ferret app presentation. And I was very intrigued by that and that opportunity for our foster kids here in our county. So I just want to keep an eye on that and figure out as they roll that out, what that would look like for our county, joining in on that app and providing that for our students.
So before we leave, quick question as to, and maybe Dr. Porras can answer it. Could we do, because we are gonna get a lot of inter-district transfers, could we do like special meetings? To, instead of doing it during a regular one and then you know what, we're gonna spend all day doing this, we might as well set it separately so that we
Yeah.
can sit down and do those things.
It's absolutely permissible. It's a scheduling, it'll be kind of a scheduling issue, but yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that would probably be something we should look at.
Yeah.
Are you saying schedule them as they come in or
For us to.
several, every time one comes in, schedule a meeting?
No, I'm saying that we schedule 4, 5, 6, 7 of them and say, okay, let's do these 3 in the morning, these 3 in the afternoon, and
If 30 come in within a 2-week period,
Right.
which is
which is very
possible,
possible.
then, we can schedule
Yeah.
schedule.
And I'm just thinking for us to think ahead of time, if that's gonna happen, we should probably be prepared for it.
We would probably want to do is, I think as Trustee McPherson said, just bundle them to the extent that we can, because we have timeframes that by ed code to reach. So as long as they come in, as in a sequence that allows us to do that, we can do that.
So when you look at Spreckles in Washington, right, they're all gonna have the same reason why they wanna move. Is it possible to have one hearing for all of them?
No.
We have to do everybody individually.
Yeah, do everybody individually.
You could probably streamline the process a little bit.
Yeah.
Just having observed them and gone through them over the past year or so. Not by a lot, but a little bit, you can bundle them unfortunately like that.
My understanding is that, well, we already get the evaluation the staff already does evaluation, like, due to the fires, okay, that were in Los Angeles last year, 1,500 interdistrict transfers the county boards has to go through.
Oh, my goodness.
And so they've kind of put together a bit of a streamlined process where, the staff is doing recommendations, but staff already does recommendations, for us. So, I think we're just gonna have to see what happens.
Just wait and see. Yeah, and then
So we can see things.
sort it out.
All right, any other comments on the December conference? All right, thank you. Oh, sorry, Annette, go ahead.
Sorry. I just wanted to say that I went to delegate assembly, ahead of the conference, and it was it was a very big change from what had been happening in the past. I think they're really moving forward to try to accommodate the differences between county board members and school district board members. And that was, the change was really evident in what they did. So that's a really good thing. And I think all of you should understand that. And that was really great from that perspective. I also even think that the regular conference had, you know, some emphasis in that direction as well. You could see that there were various sessions that were more tailored to us, which is wonderful. And so I've given a written report. I also sent all of the PowerPoints of the sessions that I attended to staff in case either any of you want to look at those, or if staff is interested in them, because I know Janine, I never know which ones to go to because there's so many good ones. But she asked me to go to a couple of them. So I gathered those PowerPoints and my notes and gave them to staff. So if you're interested in that, that's great. The last thing I will say is that the big initiative that CSBA is doing right now about closing the achievement gap, it is a very, it seems like, you know, we've talked about closing the achievement gap for years and years and years, but this is a whole new level of emphasis on that. And that's really what it's all about for us, is to try to make sure that all students are doing well. And that means students who are struggling, that they get moved up relative to the ones who are doing well. And I appreciate that CSBA is putting their weight behind this. I don't know if it will work, but certainly, you know, I think it's a bright light for all of us to put emphasis back on student achievement. And that's what they're going to be doing for the next year or so. So I just wanted to point that out to everyone. If you didn't kind of get that sense from the conference itself, that is certainly what they're trying to do. So, and that's it.
All right, thank you, Annette. Okay, board reports from board members, 11.1 legislation, John.
Two quick things. Had conversations in Sacramento. Number one is the possibility, and Dr. Gus has brought this up with Fresno, pursuing one-time state money to fund migrant ed this year. I had a conversation with Dr. Chan from LACO. We are the biggest migrant ed program. They're the second, so LACO would be interested in that. So that's, you know, you always get farther when more people get on the train. And number two is also had discussions about funding for small rural. There seems to be a lot of momentum, and I went to a session on this for enrollment-based funding. Doesn't solve the problem, but it helps it. There seems to be some movement on this potentially that we want to keep an eye on and see if we can't jump on, you know, somebody's train who's going to go in the right direction in that regard. So I'm working with Dr. Chan on that and Sheldon on that to see, you know, if there's fire where that smoke is.
Thank you, John. 11.2 community services, Annette.
The biggest news is the CEO search. There were 30 applicants that applied for this position. There were 7 that made it to the kind of recommendation level of the search firm. And our transition team has narrowed that down to 5 people who we will be interviewing. And then we'll narrow it down to probably 2 finalists and then make a choice. We're hoping to make a choice as early as in time for the January board meeting. So it's looking pretty good for that. Looks like we have a lot of good qualified people. You know, it's all about fit, so it's hard to, but on paper, we had incredible people applying, so that's great.
All right, thank you,
And
Annette.
that's it. Thank you.
11.3 Child Abuse Prevention Council. We had our meeting on December 1st. And I am happy to say that we approved our strategic plan after about a year of working on it. So that has been approved. We also nominated 3 new members onto the committee. And we voted on our public service announcement. We kind of narrowed down what we wanted to focus on for our public service announcement for the upcoming year. And let's see, 11.4 Monterey County School Boards Association, Mary?
No report.
No reports. 11.5 Association of California County Boards of Education. There are a lot of things coming up for ACCBE. First of all, their first annual report is now available on the website if you want to take a look at that. December 15th is a charter renewals and appeals on Zoom at 6:30. So might be interested in that since those are right before us now. January.
What date is that?
December 15th. Oh, wait, December 15th passed.
Yeah.
We missed it.
You sure about that date?
No, I'm not sure about that
Okay,
date.
all right.
I'm not sure. Sorry, I was in an emergency room last night. I don't know what we were doing. Okay, January 14th, Learning Portal. That one I know is the January 14th. They're looking, Dr. Christine Olmsted is going to be there. And she's looking at the graduate and learning portfolio, and they're seeking County Board of Education input on what that portrait is for upcoming deliberations with the State Board of Education. So that's an important one to attend. It's 12 to 1 on Zoom. And then January 28th is ACCBE's reflection and anniversary and plans for the upcoming 2026 year. So that one's 7 to 8:30. And there's other things upcoming on their website. They have very good events schedule there. It goes throughout the whole year. You can take a look, and I will double check that. Charter schools and renewals. All right. Consideration for future meetings, proposed resolutions or agenda items. Nothing. Our next meeting date was voted on today, and it's going to be January 14th at 3 p.m. And I will close the meeting in honor of Helen Rucker. Paper. And Carmen Nava. And our meeting is adjourned.
See you tonight.
We have 2 December birthdays.
Will we just say happy birthday?
Yeah, Mary and Heather. Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, did you turn off the recording before I sing? Okay, I'm not gonna sing before the recording starts.
They should have a cafeteria here.